And good morning to you. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Where am I at? Miss Monday, but we're here on Tuesday. Today, Wednesday, September the 2nd. Oh, stop it over there. So good morning to you, and welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Got lots to talk about, and we've got lots of folks to visit with today. We're going to be joined by Sean Whitten again, the head football coach at Elizabethton Cyclones. He joins us coming up here in just a little while. Also, we're going to be joined by Dave Angie from the Johnson City Press, talk a little sports. He'll join us coming up here there we go, fixed that over the night. We'll be talking to him coming up here in just a little while. Also, Michael White from East Tennessee State playing football tomorrow. And a pep rally tonight, as a matter of fact. So football tomorrow, obviously, against Kennesaw State, and a big pep rally tonight on the campus of East Tennessee State University. So good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Lots to talk about. TSSAA made some rulings yesterday. We'll tell you all about that. Also, we've got a whole stack of sports over here. Lots of stuff to talk about today. Lots of stuff going on, both local and national and regional. And we'll tell you all about that coming up. Baseball, got that for you. Playoffs right around the corner. They're heading down the home stretch for about another month or so, the regular season, then they get ready for playoffs. So a lot of things are at stake right now for Major League Baseball teams and the wild card division races and the wild card chase and so on and so forth. Our show brought to you by Book Lovers Warehouse, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, Kingsport Cabinetry, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program, Wells Fargo, Center Street Wealth Management Group, Wells Fargo, our buddies Tim Colvin and Jeff Bedford and Greg Taylor and Natalie Woods, and also Bracken Asphalt Maintenance and Bracken Paving, Bays Mountain Park, our buddy Rob Cole, Max Medicine Mart, and Cherokee Barbershop. In fact, went down yesterday and saw the Gator Man. He just clicked off his third year anniversary at Cherokee Barbershop there at that location. So, and he continues to grow. The place is full. And I got in there yesterday and stopped by for a few minutes and saw the Gator Man. And he was in his smock with his tie on and cutting har. In fact, yesterday was a little run on little guys. A lot of elementary, middle school young men over there with their mamas getting their hair cut yesterday. So we want to say good morning to the man who just clicked off his third year celebration as cutting hair at Cherokee Barbershop. Today is Wednesday. Again, it is Hump Day, the countdown to Christmas, if you care, and most don't. 113 days till Christmas. Hard to believe, but it's not that far away. 113 days till Christmas. And also, our show today is number 132. 132 on our Fun and Frolic. Normally, we're at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be there next week. Back up there next week. Next week, of course, as we talked yesterday, again, that big fireworks show coming up next week. It'll be happening at Bristol Dragway next Friday and Saturday. So we'll be back up there to promote that for the folks at the Dragway and the Speedway next Wednesday. And, of course, today here in studio here tomorrow. Friday, no show. We'll be traveling Friday with the Science Hill football team. Science Hill football team. Science Hill football team. Number 5th ranked team in the state on the road at Bradley Central, number 11 ranked Bears, and we'll kind of go into the Bears' den, if you will, on Friday night. We'll be traveling with the football team on Friday, and so we'll go in there at 7 o'clock Friday night with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. Kickoff at 7:30 from Bear Stadium at Bradley Central High School. Our coaches' shows will be up here momentarily, coming up at noon today. Our 3 coaches shows, the Sean Whitten coaches show, the Stacy Carter coaches show, and the Graham Clark coaches show. You can check out all 3 of those. Just go to YouTube, type in their names, Stacy Carter coaches show, Graham Clark, Sean Whitten, and you will see the shows. Those are due up in about an hour. Every Wednesday at noon we put them up, and thanks to our buddy Robert Kale. He gets her done. Appreciate him very, very much getting her done for us. All right, we're ready to go here. Let's see what's happening. Let's take a look at this TSSAA. This ruling coming down yesterday, approving five proposals during a special meeting in Murfreesboro that will close some loopholes, remove pathways to player recruitment, and potentially move some public schools and private schools, including some in the Knoxville area. I don't think so much up here, but some in the Knoxville area. In the past, it was permissible for D1 private schools to discount tuition for an athlete's sibling. As long as the sibling was not an athlete or in high school, they can still do that. We'll have to participate in Division II. So If I'm playing, I got a little brother or sister or big brother, big sister coming to the school. Again, I could do discount tuition. The school could for the siblings, as long as the siblings was not an athlete or in high school. Now they can't happen. Now they got to bump the school down to Division II, which has been redefined to include schools offering need-based financial aid, schools choosing to participate in Division II, and any school with a financial assistance program, including work-study. So there are 24 private schools currently playing in the public sector in the state of Tennessee. Closest to here would be Christian Academy of Knoxville, Knox Catholic, Grace Christian, Berean Christian, Concord Christian, Maryville, Alcoa, Oak Ridge, and Greenville are among the openly enrolled public schools in the region, which means Maryville, Alcoa, Oak Ridge, and Greenville are among the region's openly enrolled public schools. Unclear how many schools the new measure will impact. TSSAA didn't track whether schools offer financial assistance but plan to in the future. Now, Bernard Childress, the executive director of the TSSAA, says financial assistance is different than financial aid. Financial aid has to be all need-based. Financial assistance has to be the employment of a family member or given a discount of a family member who happens to be a non-athlete. That's the difference. Financial aid is need-based, based on your income. Financial assistance has to be the employment of family members or given a discount of a family member who happens to be a non-athlete. So those are some of the things going on. We're going to run down the whole list here coming up in a little while here on the show, and we will kind of clear it up. It's kind of muddy. It's kind of hard to read, really, and kind of hard to understand. So, for my money, if it's hard for me to understand, and I feel like I'm a fairly intelligent guy, then it's going to be kind of confusing, I would think, to the coaches and ADs and everybody else. But point being that it looks like it's going a step in the right direction to level the playing field. What the crux of the whole problem is, from what I've been told and what we can kind of figure out over the years covering high school ball in Tennessee, is that the public schools go up against these schools that can recruit, for lack of a better term, and the private schools, and, they always get the cream of the crop. They have to pay tuition, yes, but in some cases, that tuition is covered via scholarships or discounts or however they want to phrase it. So you may be able to go play at a school that has tuition, but you can't afford it, but not magically, but it is covered so you can go play. And so what happens when public schools go up against these private schools, when they went out and recruited or got the cream of the crop student athlete in the area in which their school's at, then it's a disadvantage to the public schools. And so that's what all this is about, to trying to level the playing field so it'll be more fair. I don't know why they just don't take the private schools, put them in a private conference and let them have it, and then the public schools play the public schools, one, face-to-face, head-to-head. Seems maybe it's too simple. I don't know. That's what I would do. But you guys over here, okay, you pay to play and you can go out and recruit, okay. You all over there playing. Public schools, you're going to be over here playing. So anyway, that's what's going on. We'll run down some more of that. All kinds of things to talk about. Let's jump in here and talk a little baseball. Oh, by the way, here's the story. What we're doing here, streaming online, livestream.com, the Tom Taylor Sports Show, both video and audio. Well, when we originally came up with this concept, I got some scoffers that said, this is kind of something new, yeah? Well, it is. How new is it? And how cutting edge is it, what we're doing? CBS will stream some regular season NFL games online for the first time this year. Network said that the October 4th matchup in London between the Jets and Miami will be streamed. Kicks off at 9:30 Eastern Time. Thanksgiving afternoon game between Carolina and the Dallas Cowboys also will be streamed. The games will be available for free on laptops, desktops, and tablets. Does that sound familiar? At CBSSports.com and on televisions through certain connected TV devices. They will also stream the Super Bowl this year. NFL's primetime games are available through streaming anyway, but so these games are going to be streamed for the first time. So they obviously know this is the wave of the future, and it is. I mean, we're here in East Tennessee, in Johnson City, and we've had contacts from, 8 countries, and 16, 17 states have been on our stream at one time or another over the last 4 or 5 months is this show number 132. So anyway, that's what's going on. And so CBS has figured it out. They're going to stream. They probably heard the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Yeah, right. Settle down, Tom. Anyway, they're streaming, and they're going to start that on October the 4th. So what we're doing, obviously, is the whole point of this is not out of the ordinary now. It's becoming more the rule rather than the exception. So anyway, what else is happening? Baseball. Cal Ripken Jr. honored him last night, 20th anniversary of his 2,131st consecutive game. He threw out the first pitch before the Orioles hosted Tampa Bay Tuesday night. Ripken had fell off his bike earlier in the day and busted up his shoulder, but he still went out and threw a strike to former teammate Brady Anderson. Brady Anderson caught the ball. Orioles added a bit of nostalgia to the night by posting the numbers 21-31 on the warehouse beyond the right field wall, just as they did when he broke the record back on September the 6th, 1995. Ripken's now 55 years old. Made baseball history when he passed Lou Gehrig, Major League record of playing in 2,130 straight games. So to put it in perspective, that is an unbelievable 2,000. Think of all the ways you can get hurt playing baseball. This guy play, or just, I don't want to play tonight. I don't feel good, but, I don't want to play. For whatever reason, I don't want to play. But he didn't do that. 2,130 straight games. Now, you play 162 games a year, so you can do the math. A long time. He never missed a game. To put it in perspective, the current streak for the Baltimore Orioles, Manny Machado, 132 straight games. If he played the next 15 seasons without missing a game, he would still be short of matching Ripken's streak. Let's do something here. I am interested in doing something. Let's see, what do we say? 21-31. 2,131 games divided by 162. 13 straight seasons. 13 years he didn't miss a ball game. Cal Ripken Jr. They honored him last night. They should have. Where's the bell? Good job, Cal. That didn't do too good. Is that all right over there? There you go. Much better. Anyway, Cal did good. That's very impressive. And 13 straight seasons, he didn't miss a baseball game. Played every inning of every game. Well, I can't say played every inning, but he played every game. He may have started and taken some time off, but again, he was in there every game at the start, and so it got him the Major League record, passing the late, great Lou Gehrig. It's pretty impressive. Also in baseball news, you see where the Kansas City Royals got guys coming down on the team with chicken pox. Got some problems in Kansas City. Kelvin Herrera, the all-star pitcher, and right fielder Alex Rios, both have been diagnosed with chicken pox, raising concerns that others on the team may have been exposed. Now, both players were sent home from Tampa Bay after experiencing symptoms over the weekend. Highly contagious disease, of course, chicken pox. Have you ever had it? Raise your hand. Yep, had it when I was a kid. Spread through the air via coughing or sneezing and sometimes by touching. Causes a blister-like rash, fever, and being tired can be serious for people with weakened immune systems. Now, they're attributing some of this to the fact these guys came from the Dominican Republic and down in Central America where kids getting, their immunizations as a young person for things like chickenpox was not very prevalent. So that may be the reason why they've diagnosed and have contracted chickenpox. So now the team who is a first-place team right now, playing very, very well for the Royals. In fact, the second-best team in baseball behind the Cardinals. But they are concerned now this may spread across the team, chickenpox. So, and with good reason, quite frankly. I mean, it is contagious, and it can be tough stuff. So, anyway, that's what's going on there. Let's talk more about this TSSAA. It's very confusing for me, and I'm going to try and get through this. And everything starts, by the way, 2017, 2018. The bylaw we just talked about could force anywhere from 12 to 15 of the current Division I private schools to relocate to Division II. Now, Keith Turner, the athletic director at Science Hill, big stick in this deal. He's been down to Murfreesboro, and he's part of the legislative council that made this approval. And so we're going to try and get him on the show tomorrow, see what he's got to say about the whole thing. The bylaw change, again, forcing anywhere from 12 to 15 of the current Division I private schools to relocate to Division II. And so One offshoot of the meeting yesterday, and the changes could be a new classification setup beginning with 2017-2018 season. Because of these schools that they've surveyed would be forced to go to Division II, that winds up being 12, 13, 14, 15 schools. It would change the landscape of football in Tennessee, no question. He says, quote, I don't know if you would go to 5 classes or 4 classes. That's up to the Board of Control, not the council. But so there's a lot going on about this ruling yesterday, and we'll continue to talk about it throughout the show. And, again, we'll try and get him on tomorrow and see if we can get some explanation of what's happening to that. Hey, it's Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Get on this Wednesday. It's Hump Day. Over the hump and through the woods to a wonderful weekend we go. Big, big weekend of college football starting tomorrow night. None bigger than right down the road at East Tennessee State University's Kermit-Tipton Stadium. They're home away from home. The Buccaneers and Kennesaw State will hook up. The Owls will come going, whoo, is ETSU. That was good. Whoo, is ETSU. Yeah. So anyway, that's coming up tomorrow night. We're going to talk to Michael White later in the show, the sports information director. There's a rally and a pep rally tonight, and kind of a let's go get them rah-rah tonight on campus at East Tennessee State. We'll tell you about that coming up later on in the show. High school football coming up. We've got that tomorrow night. 3 or 4 games on tap around the region tomorrow night. We'll tell you who's playing on a Thursday night. Coming up in a few minutes, Sean Whitten joins us, the head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. He'll stop by here in a few minutes and visit with us, and looking forward to talking to Coach Whitten. And, of course, his show comes out, his coach's show coming out in about 35 or 40 minutes from now on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Sean Whitten Coach's Show, and there it will be. Appalachian League Baseball wrapping up last night. Final scores, Greenville beat Princeton 5-zip. Elizabethton over Bristol 6-1. Kingsport over Danville 6-2. Pulaski a 1-0 win over Johnson City. And Burlington beat Bluefield 9-zip. All that again in the Appy League. And so the stage is set now for the Appalachian League playoffs. They have to determine who's going to play Kingsport out of the East. And so it'll be Pulaski and Princeton playing the best of 3. And that starts tomorrow night in Princeton, West Virginia. Princeton Devil Rays and the Pulaski Yankees. And also the Kingsport Mets kind of waiting in the wings. They'll play a best of 3. And to my knowledge and what I've been told is that winner will turn around and play Kingsport now for the outright championship of the Appalachian League for 2015. So that's getting ready to crank up tomorrow night in Princeton, West Virginia. Best of 3. Princeton tomorrow night. Friday night will be in Pulaski. And if Game 3 is necessary, it'll be Saturday night in Pulaski at 7 o'clock. Pulaski Yankees and the Princeton Devil Rays out of West Virginia. What else happening in sports? Again on this Wednesday morning, Tennessee Titans wide receiver Justin Hunter's trial on a misdemeanor charge arising from a brawl in a bar in July has been pushed back to September the 15th, so defense attorneys can try to produce a key witness. Hunter's attorney, Toby Vick, says the witness is the person who really punched a man outside a bar in Hunter's hometown on July 3rd. Not Hunter, as prosecutors contend. It wasn't him, so says his attorney, somebody else. Now, he could not determine who it was, but they're saying it wasn't him, it was somebody else. They hit him, so he wants to get this guy in on the witness stand to say that. The witness had been subpoenaed to show up on court on Tuesday as Hunter's trial on assault and battery was set to begin. Charge stems from a brawl that began inside a bar in the oceanfront tourist district of Virginia Beach. Back in July, the fight led to the man's jaw being broken. I would think he'd remember who hit him. Somebody jacked him up and broke his jaw, so they're going to talk about this. And apparently after an exchange of words, Hunter punched the man in the face twice, according to prosecutors. After a fight ensued and the bar was cleared, prosecutors contended the man Hunter originally punched was bent over and spitting blood on the sidewalk outside when Hunter sucker punched him again before he left. So somebody did it, and old boy's got a broken jaw, and they're going to bring him up on the witness stand September the 15th, say, sir, and I would think he'd know who'd hit him. If you broke my jaw or I broke your jaw, I would think I would know who did that. I would match that knuckle and that fist with a face and a body. So something smells here, but anyway, it's coming up on September the 15th, and that's going to be happening in Nashville. Tom Taylor Sports Show again. Thank you for being with us again on this Wednesday. Again, we got a whole stack of stuff to talk about, and again, of course, the breaking news story again is the fact that you've got this TSSAA ruling rolling down the mountain that starts 2017-18 that apparently is going to change the landscape in a big-time way of the TSSAA and high school sports as we know it here in the great state of Tennessee. One of our great sponsors, do want to say thanks to our buddy Jim Klein for Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Open house there tomorrow, 11 to 2. They're on Center Street in Kingsport. Again, everybody's invited to stop by. They got some, I think we have some food and just what you normally have at an open house. Got some food and some treats, some snacks, and again, some things going to be given away. So it's from 11 to 2 tomorrow. I want to stop by there and check it out on Center Street in Kingsport, right down from the Renaissance Center. And it's open to everybody. The more the merrier to get in there and check things out with our buddy, the big old tall drink of water, Jim Klein from Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. Again, thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday, September the 2nd, 2015. Again, we'll be taking a look at what's happening. Take a look at what's happening in Major League Baseball. So I'm just looking to see if it's Daniel Norris's turn. I guess he's still on the DL. See if he's going to be pitching tonight. And apparently he is not. We'll double check it and see. Let's just check it right now. La-di-di-di-di-da-do. Here we go. Today, Detroit. Of course, I haven't been told he's ever read where he's been. Nope, he's not pitching tonight. So he may still be on the DL for the Detroit Tigers. It is the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll check in with Tom Taylor. That's me. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll check in with Coach Sean Witten, Elizabethton Cyclones, getting ready for their big matchup on Friday night, opening up that brand new stadium in Elizabethton. It is a show place. Sean Witten's going to be talking about that, and, of course, opening things up against Johnson County. And what a great effort his kids gave in a losing cause last Friday night against the Science Hill Hilltoppers at Kermit Tipton Stadium and Steve Spurrier Field. And we'll talk to Coach Witten coming up here in just a few minutes. So, again, back to Jim Klein. If you get a chance, stop by there and check things out tomorrow. It is free at the open house, and you can have a big time there on Center Street in Kingsport from 11 to 2 tomorrow, the open house. And we'd love to try and get by there after the show, but obviously cannot get by there before the show because we'll be here on the show tomorrow here in studio. Baseball last night, your winners, Arizona gets a doubleheading win. Let's see, who else won? Arizona with a doubleheader win. The Dodgers, the Cardinals, Milwaukee, the Cubbies, Miami, and Philadelphia all get wins. The Cubs beat the Reds again. They are, why in the world? Well, it's a moot point now. The season's over. They got to play another month just playing out the string. But why did they let this guy continue, Brian Price, to manage his ball club? He is, of course, some of the folks have been talking to said, you keep going on about Brian Price. The players are ones that are not performing, not getting it done. But that's true to a point. They got rid of Dusty Baker, the Reds manager. They felt like he wasn't fiery enough to get him motivated, so they bring this guy in. And obviously, they're not getting it done for him either. So it may not be the manager. It may be some kind of whatever, white elephant in the clubhouse. But for some reason and for whatever reason, the Reds not playing well. Now, Reds purists would say, well, it's injuries. They're all hurt. They've been hurt. Well, okay. If you want to use that excuse, which is what it is, Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals, their ace pitcher, they lost him in the first day of the season? Gone for the year? Let's see. Where are the Cardinals right now? They are 85 and 46. Okay, enough said. Enough said on that one. All right, American League. Texas, the LA Angels, Detroit, Seattle, Minnesota, the Yankees, Toronto, and Tampa Bay all get wins in Major League Baseball. Division races, the American League East, Toronto a game and a half better than the Yankees in the East. In the Central, Kansas City 12 up right now, and they're 12 better than their team chasing them, which would be the Minnesota Twins, and Houston. In the West, pretty good race right here. In fact, it's probably the best one in baseball right now. Houston 3.5 better than Texas. The Angels hanging around. They're 6.5 back in the American League West. And the National League, the Mets 6.5 better than Washington. Washington not out of the woods, but they're only 2 over 500 at 66 and 64. Not what they wanted this year for sure. Cardinals have extended the lead. It got down to 3.5 at one point, back up to 6 now. Cardinals leading by 6 games over the Pirates in the second place in the Central Division. In the West, the Dodgers 5.5 games better than San Francisco. San Diego, they're 9.5 out, but I don't see them making a run. But there's still some time, about a month left in the season, a little less than a month, but still Just don't see them making a run. So for all intents and purposes, Dodgers and Giants, a two-team race in the National League West. Wild card, here's who's still in the running in the American League. Got a bunch of them. 7 teams can still get those wild card spots. The Yankees, Tampa Bay, Texas, Cleveland, Baltimore, Minnesota, and the Angels all in the running. In the National League, pretty much 4 teams have a chance for the wild card, which would be the Cubbies, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, and Washington. Those will be the 4 teams that have the running, or in the running, I should say, for the wild card spot, in my opinion, in Major League Baseball. Got some NASCAR coming up. Got some wrestling coming up. One of the legends arrested for murder. That's always exciting to read when you flip things on in the morning, start reading, digging around for sports. So we got that coming up and more here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up next, we'll take a break. We'll check in with, we said, our buddy Sean Whitten, the head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. He joins us coming up next year, our first guest here on this Wednesday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
On the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday morning.
Hello.
There's Coach Sean Whitten with us on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coach, good morning, sir. How you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. I tell you what, I was so proud of your football team last Friday night. They gave Science Hill all they wanted. They really played hard for you, didn't they?
Well, Tom, I tell you, as a coach, I want to win as bad as anybody does, and our school and community does. But, as a coach, you're trying to teach the kids, certain things. And, your expectations and demands on the kids throughout the summer preparation. But I thought our kids just absolutely just did everything we asked them to do. We established an identity. We fought our tails off. We didn't commit any turnovers. We did what we needed to do to stay in the game. And I thought we had with the young football team, graduating 21 seniors, I thought our kids were, they really showed us something. And I thought that, our entire school, our community, the coaching staff were really proud of the effort that young men gave.
Yeah, you made a great point. 21 seniors, new football team, young football team, yet made no turnovers in a pressure-packed football game. That showed me a lot, and I think it showed you a lot. These kids are ready to go for a great season and played Science Hill down to the wire. And tell us some of the young men you felt like stepped up and really had a good game of the night for Elizabethton.
Well, I thought our offensive line really established our identity early. I thought that, going in against Science Hill, they had all their front seven members back, led by a great group of linebackers. And I thought our offensive line did a great job all night long. I mean, I thought if we weren't able to run the football the way we did, it would probably been a long night. But Caleb Whitehead, left tackle, Mark Chester, left guard, our center Chandler Mullins, right guard Luke White, right tackle Russell Carter, our tight end Garrett Jennings. We put big Scotty Oliver, number 53, at fullback. I thought we brought in an unbalanced set line, number 66 Brandon Bieseling. You really did a great job. Just staying on the blocks, and then the big question going into our season time was how are we going to replace Ethan Thomas and who are we going to replace him with? And Caleb Jones was supposed to be that guy. We lost him 2 weeks ago, and we had four guys that really stepped up: Jeremiah Turner, Jacob Turner, Logan Norman, and in the fourth quarter, Corey Russell really came on strong for us. But I thought that group especially, you just have a tough task of moving those big guys up front and on the defense, especially against Science Hill. They're fast, they're explosive, they're strong. And for us to rush for 240 yards on 43 carries, I thought that was spectacular for us.
We're talking to Sean Witten, head football coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. Taped his show earlier in the week, and it'll be out today at noon on YouTube. Just type in the Sean Witten Coaches Show. And, Coach, in that Coaches Show taping, you're very excited about coming up Friday night, the opening of the new stadium, and getting into conference play in a new conference. Tell me about it.
Well, the thing I'm most excited about is the way this group played Friday. You just couldn't be more happy for this group open up a new stadium. This group deserves the opportunity to be that group, and there's just so much excitement for everybody in this community, for all the players in the past, the coaches in the past, our school. This has been a moment that's been it's been coming for the last 4 or 5 years, and our superintendent Ed Alexander for the last several years, former principal, just really paved the way. And we got a new superintendent now, Dr. Corey Gardner, just leading our school. And there's just so many people, our school system, our school board, our community leaders. It's really proud. Our 3-time state championship band getting their place. So it's just, we appreciate all the sponsorship, the donations. It's just been an unbelievable task getting this stadium. It's gone up very quickly. And we're excited about the nutrition that we're going to start on Friday.
I know you and I talked on the show, too, the fact that this is not just for the football team. I mean, the whole community can use it, and other sports teams in the band. It's going to be used by a lot of different groups and organizations at the high school, right? We're talking about the new stadium.
Yeah, I mean, it's we were in desperate need. I mean, our facilities and, our youth, our youth team's going to play on it, practice on it. Our middle school teams, they're going to play a game on it next week. Our soccer programs, our bands got somewhere to practice and perform. And, and then for us going forward, scrimmages, jamborees, band competitions, that sort of thing. I mean, there's a lot that can take place in a stadium like that. I mean, over 500 parking spots out front, just a lot better access in and out of the stadium. And, having it on campus is the major plus. I mean, just be able to go. Yesterday was our first day of practice on it, full practice on it. We just walk right out there, get started, and head back in. So I mean, we're just so blessed and fortunate I'm blessed to be, and our coaches are blessed to be a part of it. And our way our kids handle themselves for the last 8 weeks in our first game, and it's just going to be an awesome. And for me personally, it's it's a little bit bittersweet, and leaving Dave Ryder Field, and my grandfather paid this program since 1976, and it's important to me, as we start new traditions and start a new legacy that we continue to carry on the old as well.
Well, hopefully down the line somewhere they will make the new stadium Dave Ryder Field too. Certainly deserves it. He is Elizabethton football. He made it happen, and so maybe that'll happen down the road. We hope that it'll get named Dave Ryder Field. It certainly should. We're talking to Sean Witten again, head football coach of the Cyclones, and of course Friday night an old rival comes to town. Them Longhorns come down out of Mountain City, and boy, they'll scrap you and fight you. And give me a scouting report on Johnson County.
Well, first they returned the leading Three Rivers Conference receiver from a year ago, 59 catches. He's a really good 6'2", 190-pound receiver, basketball kid, can go up and get it. We got a sophomore quarterback, Arnold, who's really mature for his age and got 2 games under his belt, really throws the ball really well. I think the biggest thing with Mountain City is, they usually have been very big up front, very physical, and they've kind of really got some outstanding skill. They got 2 or 3 kids that can really run. They do a mixture of wing tee and spreading you out. I think that they kind of found a niche and kind of spreading you out, throwing the football quite a bit. But a team that's 0-2, most teams 0-2 may come in a little bit with their heads down, but what an opportunity Johnson County does to come in and kind of spoil our night. This could kind of make their season coming in and getting upset in a big night for Elizabethton, and so they very much got our attention, and we know about the Johnson County teams in the past, and the Curley brothers do a great job in their second year, and we know they're going to get things turned around. So we've had a great day of practice yesterday, preparation, and for us too, it's going forward. How do we build off of last Friday? I mean, we got a lot of momentum, a lot of positives that happened, and going forward, we just need to continue to build from that.
And you do a great job, my friend, as well, much like the Curley brothers. Well, I'm very glad to hang out with you, and I love doing the show with you. And, hey, good luck to you, and we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Class act right there, and I'm here to tell you, I like that guy a lot, Sean Witten. And that football field I'm going to go on record and say, why would you not name it Dave Ryder Field? I mean, that's hello. He is Elizabethton football, and he is the barometer by which they measure the program. When they built Memorial Stadium, they named it Steve Spurrier Field. When they moved it up to Kermit Tipton, they moved the name to Steve Spurrier Field. So, for my money, I don't know who I would talk to, or who need I get their attention, but somebody needs to go, we need to move that name right on down and put it on that field, Dave Ryder Field. And also, I'm on my soapbox here. I wasn't going to say anything with Coach on the phone, but I'm on my soapbox. But, how many schools in America have a guy like Jason Witten coming out of your school? Guy's on his way to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's setting records left and right as a tight end of the National Football League. Guy's a model citizen, a great ambassador, gives back so much to the community. Why in the world would you not? This is me. Why in the world would you not, if you're in Elizabethton in some way, shape, or form, have something over there with his name on it to say thank you? Because there's not many communities in America that have a NFL Pro Bowler and a future NFL Hall of Famer coming out of their, particularly a school the size of Elizabethton. Now, some of the bigger, inner city schools across America that, that's in big cities, yes, but, coming out of the hills of East Tennessee and Elizabethton, Tennessee, how many schools can say they got a guy that's in the NFL and, even more importantly, heading off to the Hall of Fame at some point? He needs to have his name on there somewhere. I don't know how you do it, but he needs to be honored for what he's accomplished and the notoriety he's brought to not only Elizabethton, but East Tennessee and, quite frankly, the state of Tennessee. I mean, the guy was a pretty good football player down in Knoxville, too, back in the day. So, anyway, that's me, and I think they ought to do something for Jason Witten in Elizabethton, and I don't think they should call and ask him. I think they just should do it out of respect for what he's done for the program. And, that's me. And certainly Dave Ryder. Holy smokes. This guy is Elizabethton football, although his grandson is making a pretty quick name for himself as well, Sean Witten. But, again, that's me, and I think they ought to do something for Coach Ryder, and the simplest thing to do is just rename that field, just move the name. Why would you not? I mean, just because you build a new stadium, it's still Dave Ryder Field. It was up at Brown Childers Stadium. Why would it not be down at the new stadium? I know it's Citizens Bank Field, or Citizens Bank Stadium, I should say. Isn't it Citizens Bank Stadium? Or why would they not call the field Dave Ryder Field? Carry on that tradition they started earlier in the decade. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks to our buddy, and he does a great job. We appreciate him very much. That is our friend Sean Whitten. Again, his coach's show comes out at noon in about 17, 18 minutes. You simply go to YouTube and type in Sean Whitten Coach's Show. It is there. Also coming out at noon every Wednesday, the Stacy Carter Coach's Show from Science Hill. Same thing, YouTube, Stacy Carter Coach's Show. And then also the Graham Clark Coach's Show. We taped it last night from Biggie's. By the way, Biggie's, they got a mean burger over there. That's a great hamburger, the Biggie's Burger. Biggie's Clam Bar over on Stone Drive in Kingsport, crossing the putt-putt. And so we shoot there every Tuesday night, his show. And, yes, them burgers, I look forward to every Tuesday to get me a Biggie's Burger. They are good. Ground chuck, whoo, lousy mercy, about yay thick. They're good. And so Graham's show is there every, as we said, every Wednesday we come out with a show at noon. And so thanks to Robert Kell and his production company. So that'll be coming out in about 15, 20 minutes. You just go to YouTube. It's up there, video and audio on demand. It's up there infinitely, so you can watch it over and over and over and often as you like. There's highlights involved, of course, in all three coaches' shows this week. Science Hills went over Elizabethton. Elizabethton's lost to Science Hills, Coach Whitten's show. And, of course, we spotlight highlights with the Dobbins Unit Indians, their lost to Oak Ridge on Friday night, 17-14 at J. Fred Johnson Stadium. So they're all three out, or be out, and coming up here in a couple of minutes. We go with our broadcast. We'll travel to the Hilltopper, with the Hilltoppers, to Bradley Central, to Bear Stadium. 7 o'clock airtime on Friday night with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. Kickoff at 7:30. By the way, speaking of Blue Lizard, I'm going to get Jeff on, too. He is the CEO of Blue Lizard, based here in the Tri-Cities, based specifically in Johnson City, Crown Laboratories. Read the article, I don't know if you saw this in the Johnson City Press last week. They are the 11th fastest growing company, in Tennessee. The 11th fastest growing company in Tennessee, if I read that right. Based in Johnson City, going great guns. In fact, I think he told me they're running almost 24/7 crews now. Trying to get the product out. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen is what we're talking about, among other things. And so they're doing a fantastic job at Blue Lizard, and we're going to get Jeff on in the very near future, let him brag on his company because he's heavily involved in this show and also our Science Hill broadcast as well. It is a Wednesday, September the 2nd, show number 132. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. All you got to do is, again, very easy to find this show. Simply go to livestream.com, as you see on the banner behind us. My hat's got a block, but livestream.com, type in the Tom Taylor Sports Show, and there we be every weekday afternoon from 11 to 2, with the exception of the long road games, much like we're going to go on Friday when we head down to Cleveland, almost to Chattanooga. We're traveling with the football team, so no show on Friday because we got to get down the road to call the game. Any other time, it's 11 to 2, Monday through Friday. Next Wednesday, we'll be back at the Speedway. Next weekend, we've talked about this big fireworks show they're going to be having for 2 nights there at the Dragway. The National Fireworks Association coming in town and putting on a show for prospective retailers to come in and they're going to show off what they've got for 2016 as far as fireworks. And then they're going to put on a couple of shows for you and I, $10 a carload next Friday night, next Saturday evening, and it's going to be a great deal. And if you like fireworks, I think he told me yesterday, if I heard him right, Sam Jones, we had him on, talking about this event next weekend at the Dragway. If I heard him right, he said it's a 2-hour fireworks show. Now, we all go gaga, everybody, I don't know if you do this. Every time I go to a fireworks show, I kind of time it in my head. Well, that was about 12 minutes. That wasn't very good. Or, well, that's 20. That's good. Well, here's one's going to be for 2 hours. I don't know if it's constantly or it's a 2-hour window. They're going to shoot them up for a while and then let the next company do it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but he said it's going to be a 2-hour. Wow, that's a lot of fireworks. 2-hour fireworks show next Friday and Saturday at the Dragway. So, anyway, we'll talk more with him coming up, and we appreciate him very much, he being Sam Jones. But, again, we'll be on the road because of that, so we will not be We'll be there, I should say, next week promoting it. This Friday we'll be on the road. Of course, today here, Wednesday, we're in studio and ready to go. So we love being here. I can tell you that. I'm sitting looking at this story. Oh, boy. All right, let's see. We got more. Yep, I was afraid of that. We've got more about the Deflategate. Robert Kraft coming out and saying it's the most overblown story in the history of the National Football League. There you go. We'll talk more about that. Also, a breaking story. Ex-NFL running back Lawrence Phillips charged in murder of his cellmate. We'll talk more about that. And we've got all kinds of sports stacked up over here. We got some NASCAR this weekend. Down in Darlington, Kevin Harvick defending his crown of the Southern 500 as he captured the pole a year ago, then won the race. So a lot of racing this weekend, not that far away, in the Southern 500 on Sunday night in Darlington, South Carolina. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll jump in here and continue on. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got our buddy Dave Anchi is going to join us from the John City Press. Also later in the show, Buck Football. Michael White joins us from the Sports Information Directing Department. Of course, he is the department, SID, from East Tennessee State University, getting ready for football tomorrow night. 12-year hiatus about to come to an end. Buck Football takes the field tomorrow night. The excitement it's electric. I'm telling you, in Johnson City, there's a buzz in this city about this football team and about this football game. So we'll talk to Michael White a little bit later on the show about that. All right here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Quick break. We'll be right back. It is this Wednesday. It is September the 2nd. Countdown to Christmas, if you care. 113 days to Christmas. We'll be back with more right after this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems, it used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says there is no charge for his quotes.
All of our quotes and drawings are free. I know a lot of the national chains, big box stores and stuff, and I understand they have to charge a price to come out and measure and do a quote, but here at Kingsport Cabinetry, we do all that for free in hopes that our service is good enough. I always tell people this, Tom. I say, you can go anywhere in this town and get a product like I have, but find somebody you're comfortable working with. If you're not comfortable working with me, find somebody you are comfortable working with. But I can guarantee you we'll give you the service. We have a full shop back here that we do custom work, and I'll just move on a little bit. We get into commercial work. We do a lot of commercial work, a lot of healthcare, a lot of restaurants, banks, schools, things like that too.
Kingsport Cabinetry. Call Richard Isaacs today at 247-6134.
Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Wednesday morning, soon to be Wednesday afternoon. New England Patriots, here's the story. The Patriots were at Gillette Stadium last night for a gala supporting the team's charitable foundation called Patriots Premier. Not surprisingly, the never-ending Deflategate drama came up. Owner Robert Kraft says this. First, he said in late July, I was wrong to put my faith in the league regarding the Deflategate appeal that upheld Tom Brady's 4-game suspension. Again, took the opportunity to express his thoughts on the scandal. He says last night, quote, Deflategate is the most overblown story in recent NFL history. That is from Robert Kraft, and so we'll see. Again, a lot of people agree with him. I for one, am one of them. Just do something. And we'll soon find out if that includes Judge Richard Berman, who will issue a ruling on Brady's fate before the end of the week. So that's today and tomorrow, and that's it. Speaking of Brady, he was there last night. One of the questions posed to him on a panel discussion there for the Patriots was, have you done anything interesting in the offseason? And Brady says, quote, it's been such an enjoyable offseason, tongue-in-cheek, during the discussion last night at the gala. So, anyway, that's what happened, and Robert Kraft says the most overblown story in recent NFL history is Deflategate. We'll see. It's tomorrow or today when, again, the judge, Richard Berman, said he will come out and make a ruling on the events in and around Deflategate. Infamous former Nebraska NFL and CFL running back Lawrence Phillips charged with murder and the death of his cellmate in a California prison. In April, Damian Soward was found unresponsive in the Kern Valley State Prison cell he shared with Phillips, who was immediately named a suspect. Well, yeah. Phillips had been charged with first-degree murder, will be arraigned September the 15th. Prosecutor Andy Bridges told a newspaper in California that Phillips is facing a term of 25 to life plus 15 years. He does not appear to be facing the death penalty. He's in prison for 31 years for convictions that included domestic violence, spousal abuse, false imprisonment, and vehicle theft. This guy's a train wreck. Unfortunately, hate that for anybody, but this guy, proof's in the pudding, is what he is, and he's a train wreck, and so he now has been found charged with murder in the death of his cellmate in prison once he got there. So things continue to spiral downward for NFL running back Lawrence Phillips. Which leads me to tell you this show is dedicated to the man who hung on the cross. It sounds like that's what Lawrence needs. He's in a little dose of the Lord. And right here is where that cross is, and we put it right there prominently. We unashamedly devote this show each and every day to the man who hung on the cross. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. So I think it's safe to say that Mr. Phillips and anyone else, whether you're doing good or doing bad, in this case doing bad, people need the Lord. So there you go. Enough said on that. What else happening? Nick Saban's in the news this morning. Yep, Coach Saban. Coach Saban says we've had good enough teams to win 8 national titles instead of 4. Interesting. Nick Saban told a group of sports writers that his 84 wins in 8 seasons haven't been quite enough, but perhaps not surprisingly, he doesn't mean that he's keeping score, but he did say, we've had enough talent that I feel like we should have won 4 times and I failed 4 times to win the national championship. People talk about you winning 4 national championships. Well, I feel like we've had good enough teams to win 8, so I feel like we failed 4 times. I feel like I failed 4 times. How about that? It's pretty impressive, I think, for a man to come out and say that. He said, we've had the horses, and I just didn't get it done. Not anybody else. It falls back on me. So Nick Saban says, we haven't had the talent, or we've had the talent. I didn't get it all out of them to win 4 more national titles like it should have. That's pretty cool for somebody to say that, especially in his position. So, anyway, that's what Saban said recently in front of some sports writers in Alabama, that talent was there to win 8, and I failed and only won 4 national titles. Pretty cool stuff, if I may say so myself. Tom Taylor Sports Show brought to you by some great folks like Wealth Street Center Management Group from Center Street, or the Center Street Wealth Management Group. Our buddy Greg Taylor and Tim Colvin and Jeff Bedford and Natalie Woods. We appreciate them folks very, very much. Bays Mountain Park, also Max Medicine Mart, Cherokee Barbershop, the Gator Man. I'm going to try and get him on here today. I don't know how busy he is. I'm going to try and get him on and let him crow about him being in 3 years at the same location, Cherokee Barbershop on South Roan Street in Johnson City. When the barber pole's out, the Gator Man's in. Book Lovers Warehouse, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, brand new location in Johnson City at 116 West Springbrook Drive, right there close to Talbot's and also to the Peerless. New location in Johnson City for Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics and our buddy Will Graybill. Kingsport Cabinetry, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program, and also our buddy coming up with the thought for the day, Larry Kaiser. Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. We appreciate him very much as well. Tom Taylor Sports Show. And so before we go to the break, another sports news. If you're a wrestling fan, this one came out. Of course, it's also been revealed that he is diagnosed with stomach cancer. But Jimmy the Superfly Snuka, is that how you say it? I'm not a wrestling guy, so I'm not sure. Charged with third-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, in the death of his mistress more than 3 decades ago. Nancy Argentino, 23, of New York. Snuka, who had been at the World Wrestling Federation taping at the Allentown Fairgrounds, told police shortly after Argentino's death that he had returned to the couple's hotel room to find her unresponsive in bed. She was pronounced dead at a hospital several hours later. Autopsy determined she died of traumatic brain injuries, had more than 3 dozen cuts and bruises, concluded her injuries were consistent with being hit with a stationary object. At the time, forensic pathologist Isidore Malakis wrote that the case should be investigated as a homicide until proven otherwise. Investigation went cold. A June 2013 investigation by a newspaper in Allentown raised questions about the case. District Attorney in that county, Jim Martin, told the paper last year that Argentino's sisters approached him after the story ran, prompting him to give the case another look. And apparently they've interviewed Superfly more than a half dozen times, and the story changes every time. So now he has been charged with the third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter in the death of his mistress more than 3 decades ago, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Hope I'm saying it right. And, of course, it's also been revealed he is suffering from stomach cancer himself. So, interesting story to say the least, and interesting times, my friend, in which we live in, no question. Coastal Carolina making a move. Here's another sports news coming out of the college ranks. Coastal Carolina made one of the biggest moves in athletic department history, made it official yesterday, announcing the school's addition to the Sun Belt Conference as its 12th member. Coastal Carolina will join the league in 2016-2017 for all sports, but football, and they'll make their football debut in 2017. So with University of Alabama Birmingham returning to the field in 2017, Coastal Carolina's addition will bump the total number of teams in the FBS to 130. So they will not be eligible for the postseason until 2018 as they put a team on the field for 2017. But Coastal Carolina, again, announcing they're going to be moving into the Sun Belt Conference as its 12th member. They'll join the league next year for all sports and football in 2017. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got our buddy Dave Angie scheduled to join us, see what's going on in his world of sports, see what he wants to talk about. We'll do that right after this as Hour 1's in the books here on this Wednesday on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide, plus it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, we've got you covered.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks! At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
It's time.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Wednesday. Two ring-a-dingies, my buddy Dave Angie. Let's see what he's got going on today. Johnson City Press. Hello.
Hello.
There he is, our buddy Dave Angie from the Johnson City Press. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well today. How you doing?
Just fine, sir. Just fine. Glad you could join us for a little while today. And gosh, where do we start? Lots of sports going on. I guess we'll start with this TSSAA ruling. What's this all about? I've been trying to kind of make heads or tails of it. I'm not doing so good, so that's why I called you. What's your take on all this?
Well, the reason you're probably not doing too good with it is because a lot of lawyers, I think, sat down and wrote this. This is it's something, and Doug Fritz over there at the Johnson City Press did a really good job. He wrote an article the other day, and it's up on our website right now, kind of explaining, translating a little bit of what happened. And, of course, he talked to Keith Turner over at Science Hill, who I believe is a member of the committee, that put all this stuff into place the other day. And he kind of explained and broke it down a little bit and did a really good job of that. So that's up on our website. But kind of in a nutshell, what they decided to do, they tried to vote I believe about a month ago, for the public-private split, so that public schools aren't playing private schools that are allowed to recruit athletes. And, that wound up not passing because the TSSAA was concerned about getting sued, and they wanted to be sure that they were kind of inside the law and everything else. So what they did is they kind of went through and passed a few things. And, the first element of it was that, if you look at schools that provide financial aid for students to be able to come there, that's one way that athletes are recruited into some of these private schools. So they're kind of closing that down, and it won't take effect till 2017. But if private schools want to continue giving financial aid to students or to athletes to come in, what will end up happening is they'll have to move to Division II, which means they'll compete against other private schools, and they'll kind of even the playing field. So that was the major part of that. And I think that'll mean that we see a classification switch again for 2017, 2018, because, it's going to kind of change the landscape of everything.
We're talking to Dave Angie. So how does that affect teams here in Northeast Tennessee? I mean, I don't know. We don't have that many private schools here. Most of them are in the Knoxville area. So how does that going forward? Will that affect us up here at all except for reclassification?
Well, we have a lot of schools up here that it happened in the spring. If you watched a lot of our baseball teams and softball teams, you start running up against the private schools in Knoxville, that are just bulldozing them, and if you look, the size of the school is the same, so they're in the same classification, but they're not drawing from the same area, the same amount of pool of kids as everybody else. I mean, they can go out and give financial aid to a kid and bring them in from 100 miles away and put them on the team. And when you're allowed to do that, it's kind of a form of recruiting. It makes it a really uneven playing field, and you've got basically an all-star team going up against kids from one school district. So that's what makes it so uneven, and that's been the problem. And they've been trying for years to find a way to address this. And I believe there was a lengthy lawsuit years ago. I think it was Brentwood, or one of the schools from the Nashville area, that was involved in that with the TSSAA, and it drained their resources. And it's just something they really don't want to go through a lawsuit again, but they want to find a way to even the competition among schools. And if you talk to athletic directors around Northeast Tennessee, I think you'll find that most of them are kind of in favor of weeding out the private schools and making them kind of compete against each other.
We're talking to Dave Angie again with the Johnson City Press, doing a great job trying to. And you're right, it's kind of confusing, but and I'm reading this other part of this addendum, I guess, and one of the proposals about the weight training conditioning. Only students enrolled and in regular attendance at the school may participate during the school year. That includes 8th graders who attend a high school conditioning program in the spring. The rule becomes official October the 1st. I don't get this one. Only students enrolled and in regular attendance at the school may participate in weight training and conditioning. Why would they put that in there?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I didn't understand as well either, to be honest with you. And Turner was not quite in favor of that one because they like to be able to have the 8th graders come in and kind of get them started on the same weight program they're going to use when they get to high school. But this rule makes it to where their high school coaches aren't going to be able to do that. And I'm not sure exactly what loophole they're trying to close there. And I know there's got to be a purpose behind it. But just going through, that's one, too, that made me scratch my head. The other one, too, that I forgot to mention was the coach-athlete link, I think they called it, where, if there's a link between a player and a coach and then a player transfers to the school where that coach is coaching, they're going to have to sit out 12 months. They'll be ineligible before they can play. So to give you an example of that, there's some coaches who coach on the high school level who also coach AAU teams during the summer. So say there's an AAU coach who's a head coach of some sport at Science Hill, and he has players on his AAU team that go to, say, Science Hill, Dobbins-Bennett, Elizabethton, and they all kind of come together to form an AAU team that plays during the summer. Well, when the school year rolls around, say 2 or 3 of those kids from Elizabethton or DB transfer over to Science Hill to play for that coach, then there's a player-coach link there that probably indicates a little bit of recruiting, so that athlete will have to sit out for a 12-month period before they're able to play up in these schools. So, every one of these things that you're reading is designed to kind of cut down recruiting as much as possible and kind of even the playing field for everybody. So that's the idea behind it. The weightlifting thing I didn't quite understand, but I'm sure there's a reason for that somewhere.
Again, we're talking to our buddy Dave Andre of the Johnson City Press, and that's a great. I like that rule a lot because that really cuts down on what you exactly nailed, the fact that they could be a buddy with a coach and want to go to where he's coaching since he coached them in the summer, and they can, but they got to sit out a year. I like that one. Weight training, conditioning, I didn't get that one at all. So,
yeah, there's another one that they were trying to get past that they didn't, which has to do with students, kind of nailing down school zones, and this is more for areas like Nashville. They have an issue in Nashville now where kids pretty much have a choice of where they want to go inside the metro area. And it's a huge place, and you'll see some powerhouse programs. And with bus passes, kids can pretty much get transportation to any school they want to go. So, you have situations where a lot of talent, like maybe all the football talent, ends up kind of going to a couple schools, regardless, because they're all inside the metro area. But, the ramifications of that, it would be rough because you'd have a lot of kids, if they pass that, immediately ineligible, and nobody knows really what the unintended consequences of all that would be. So that's something that they decided to shelve. It didn't pass, and they're gonna do more study into that in terms of kind of nail down some school zones and what the rules ought to be in somewhere like Metro Nashville or Memphis or those bigger areas.
We're talking again to Dave Ange again, the Johnson City Press. We're talking about the TSSAA ruling came down yesterday, so it goes into effect 2017. Reclassification probably 17-18. So here we go again. So this will stay where it is for this year, next year. So really, I think originally it was a 4-year. It looks like now they're going to pull it back, maybe just a 2-year agreement at the current classification. Based on this article, they're going to redo it again in 17. Is that right?
Yeah, I think these things are always 2-year renewable. I think the idea in the beginning is that they were going to try to commit to do it 4. Just because it's such a big change all of a sudden, they wanted to kind of leave it in place to see how it played out. But obviously, with this, what they're talking about is that, I think the speculation is maybe between 13 and 15 schools that are now Division I schools. If they don't change what they're doing, it'll be really hard for them to change it in terms of tuition reimbursement or, anything along the lines of what you're reading in that article. If they don't change the way they operate, then they're going to have to move to Division II. And that's, if you move in 13 or 15 teams, that throws off the entire classification system that they have in place now. So if they all move to Division II, you have a whole different pool of teams that make up Division I, which is essentially the public schools as we know them. So then they'll have to reshuffle and reclassify to even it back out. So, it's one of those deals where, we're just now getting used to what they're doing in terms of football this year, with the way they've changed it. And now it looks like it's only going to be a 2-year thing, and then we might be looking at something completely different.
Talking to Dave Ange, switching gears, again, the sports writer of the Johnson City Press, and let's talk about high school football. Any surprises you're seeing here after 2 weeks of the regular season?
I was really surprised with a couple things. I mean, last week, obviously Science Hill and Elizabethton was a surprising game for me, with Elizabethton having their starting running back out for the year. I didn't expect them to hang around with Science Hill as long as they did. And, and that's probably, that's on my part, I think it was wishful thinking a little bit that, or just the expectation that it would be a more seamless transition between Magoo and Bedard there at quarterback. And, whenever you lose a great player like Bedard was, or not Bedard, but Magoo, whenever you lose a great player like that, it's just really hard. That's a big void to replace. And when you look at how Science Hill's offense has to work now, it's completely different than the offense they ran last year. So I guess in hindsight, I think I probably should have expected a few more growing pains than I expected initially. But, they were able to get the win, and that was the big thing. But the fact that game was so close was a surprise to me. And the other one was watching Hampton's offense last week. They've been traditionally a running football team, but, they threw the ball all over creation. Kobe Jones, the quarterback for them, had about 300 yards passing in the first half, 4 touchdowns, and they had no problem at all with Johnson County to win that one 50-14. So, I'd say probably my takeaway so far, those are the 2 biggest surprises.
Talking to Dave Ange, I was talking to Stacy Carter. We taped this show earlier in the week, and he said, we got to remember Bedard, this is his first full game at a quarterback position. Last year he filled in for Magoo, but he was a running back. And so this is his first full game as QB, so he's kind of on a learning curve too. So, and I'd forgotten about that. He threw 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. And anyway, Bedard, Back there, again, on a learning curve. This week they'll take on the Copeland kid as an outstanding quarterback for Bradley Central. So a good test for Science Hill going on the road at Bradley Central this Friday night. We're talking to Dave Angie, the NASCAR beat writer, not NASCAR beat writer, but the sports writer for the Johnson City Press. And let's look at college football a little bit. Let's look down the road. Actually, two places. Tomorrow night, you've got ETSU and Kennesaw State there at Kermit-Tipton Stadium. And then Saturday, Tennessee takes on Bowling Green in Nashville. What's your take on those two games?
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the excitement level for the return to ETSU football is just so high. The fact that they're looking at selling standing room only tickets tonight. There's going to be 500 of those for sale at the ETSU pep rally at 8 o'clock tonight. And it just looking at the alumni and the former players and just everybody in town and how they've embraced the return of football. I think it's been said best that sometimes you don't know what you have until it's taken away from you. And I think a lot of people realize how special it was having college football, here in the Tri-Cities area. And, the return of it is so exciting. And it's going to be interesting to see what the team looks like on the field. Of course, playing all freshmen, either freshmen or redshirt freshmen. And, there's very few transfers on ETSU, and Kennesaw has gone a different route. They have a lot more upperclassmen. They've taken some transfers from some pretty major schools, Central Florida and South Carolina, Georgia Tech. They've got some players that, it didn't work out there for them, so they transferred in. And, so they're going to be a little more experienced and mature. They're going to be running the triple option, and, it's going to be really exciting in that one. And, of course, you look over at Tennessee, people are expecting really big things from this team this year. If you look at their starting lineup, offense and defense, they're really stacked talent-wise. They have a lot more speed than they've had. I think the question with Tennessee is whether depth is still going to be an issue for them this year as they get deeper into the ball game. I don't think it'll be as big of an issue against Bowling Green, but it'll be something to look at kind of when they get into the SEC schedule.
So, in your humble opinion, how good is this Tennessee football team? We're hearing a lot of hype. I know they're improved, but at the end of the day, how good do you think they're going to be?
It depends on injuries. They are literally one or two key injuries away from having some very serious problems, just because, if the cupboard was so bare when Butch Jones got there, I don't know, I think people kind of realize, that after the recruiting efforts of Dooley, that there was not a lot to work with. So, they've had to try to rebuild really fast, but you can only sign so many players per year, and that hasn't been enough to give them quality depth. Once they get past the starters, it starts to become an issue. And, I think if you look at their starting lineup, I mean, obviously they're good enough to win the East, but you kind of wonder when they're getting in these tougher football games, in the SEC schedule, and it comes to the fourth quarter, and they've got some guys on the field, especially linemen, that are having to play a lot more reps than the guys they're lining up across from, whether fatigue's going to kind of take a toll and may cost them some football games kind of late in the game. So, the only place I think Tennessee's weak this year is with their depth. So if they can develop good depth as the year goes on, if players play a little bit over their head and are able to get into the rotation, that can help them a lot.
All right, before I let you go, we're talking to Dave On. Just run down this real quick. Bowling, just tell me wins, losses. Bowling Green, is that a W for the Big Orange?
I think they get that one.
Oklahoma at home?
I don't think they get that one.
1-1. Western Carolina at home?
They get that one.
Put you at 2-1. You go to Florida to battle the Gators down there September 26th. Win or loss for Tennessee?
Oh, Tennessee gets that one.
3-1. All right, back home for Arkansas.
I don't think they beat Arkansas this year.
That's 3-2. All right, they'll come stay the next week. They got Georgia coming to town.
Ooh, boy. I think they're 3-3 after that one.
All right, 3-3. They head to Alabama October the 24th. 3-4.
That's not looking good there, 3-4.
Back home or actually go to Kentucky on Halloween.
They'll win that one.
All right, they're 4-4. In the month of November, they got South Carolina at home.
I think they win that one.
5-4. North Texas at home.
They win that one.
They go to Missouri.
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. I think, I think they're going to win that football game too.
That puts you at 7-4, and then they come back home to Vanderbilt.
And they get that one.
You got them at 8-4. I think that's
and I'll put an asterisk up next to this. Nobody can get hurt for them in terms of when you look at Josh Dobbs, when you look at their running backs and skill players, and there's a couple key linemen on both sides too, and a couple linebackers that just flat out cannot get injured this year. So if they stay healthy, 8 wins, I think.
Yeah, and I think the key to this whole season, and everybody, this is no earth-shattering statement, but if Dobbs goes down, they got some raw, talented kids back at quarterback, but not much experience. If Dobbs goes down, in my opinion, they're in a world of hurt at Tennessee football if he goes down. What do you think?
Yeah, it goes back to that. If you remember the year where I'm trying to remember who the quarterbacks involved were, when I think Peyton Manning was a freshman, possibly they had. It was around that time they had a starting quarterback go down, and all they had almost to go to were freshmen, and it may have been a game at UCLA, and my memory is a little hazy on that, but that's where they're at now. If they have their starting quarterback go down, they're relying basically on very, very inexperienced quarterbacks. So, that is the key position for them on the field, because Dobbs, if you look at how they run the football with Dobbs and without him, last season, the numbers are just staggering, the difference when you have Dobbs on the field. It makes their offense so much more unpredictable, and he makes good decisions, and he really, really is the guy that has to stay healthy.
Great report, my friend. I appreciate your time. You do an awesome job. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and, hey, we'll check back in next week, all right?
That sounds good. Enjoyed it. I'll talk to you then.
Yes, sir. Good man right there, buddy. Dave Angie. He nailed it as always. Appreciate him very, very much being our guest. Again, the sports writer with the Johnson City Press. It is the Tom Taylor Sports Show here on this Wednesday afternoon. Afternoon baseball games. We've got the Reds and the Cubbies starting at 2:20. Excuse me, got a frog today. Cubs and Reds at 2:20 at 12. Getting ready, in fact, they're about 20 minutes into it. At 12:10 first pitch, the Braves and Miami. We'll keep you up to date with that one. Cubs and Reds, as we said, 2:20 from Wrigley. Also this afternoon, you got a 4:05 start. The Red Sox and the Yankees at Fenway, and also a 3:35 start this afternoon. The A's hosting the Angels on the left coast. So that's what's happening there in Major League Baseball. And the first one up chronologically, again, the Braves and Miami are underway in Atlanta on a 12:10 first pitch. We are, again, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We'll be right back right after you hear this.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. Whether lying on the beach, just working in your yard, or watching NASCAR racing this weekend in Bristol, your skin needs protection from the harmful effects of the sun. Blue Lizard Sunscreen delivers broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus protection that comes with smart bottle technology. Our bottle changes colors in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. It's the brand most recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide, plus it's made right here in the Tri-Cities. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, we've got you covered. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. We need some rain, though. It's awful dry outside. Need some rain. But again, we take what the good Lord gives us, and that's about all we do anyway, quite frankly. So there's my man. Let's see.
Hello?
There he is, my man, Thomas Wyman. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Oh, it's just lovely. How about yourself?
Well, I can't complain. You're out there making quotes and giving estimates, and you're busy. Tell me about what's going on with Bracken right now.
We're busy as all heck. I was up in Wise, Virginia this morning already. People just, it's the end of the year, and vacations are over with, so people are now looking around their houses, what they need to get ready for wintertime, and they're looking down at their asphalt and seeing it needs some work.
113 days till Christmas, which means fall's right around the corner, although it's hot today. So how far out in the calendar year are you guys going to be working? Do you know?
Depends on what the weather holds for us and how fast the leaves drop and everything, but we'll hopefully go to the end of September, usually for sure. And then it just depends in October how far we can go as with the weather.
Yeah, I noticed some of the leaves are already starting to drop. I don't know whether it's because it's so dry or I don't know for whatever reason, but they're starting to drop a little early, and that causes problems for you guys to pave and to seal, right?
Well, it doesn't help. I mean, unfortunately, we can blow a driveway off and have it sealed and making it look really nice. And then leaves will fall on top of the driveway. And, sometimes they leave imprints, sometimes they don't. But, there's really not a whole lot we can do with that, unfortunately.
There you go. So 323-8726, the lovely Apester is here waiting to take your call. And how far out are you on giving a quote? You go back out tomorrow? If we call today, you got to wait a while.
Depending on where the area is at, it's probably going to be the beginning of next week because I'm pretty packed the rest of the week. But it'll probably be next week.
All right. So, are you ready for the quiz show? I'm ready.
Oh, sure. I'm ready. I got the questions right here in front of me.
Here we go. Hit that music, Tom. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready here in just a second. It's going to be good. I'm going to win this thing today, Do you think I'm going to...
Have I lost you?
No. I hope you haven't lost me.
Are you there?
I am here. Are you there?
I can't hear you.
Unbelievable. This happens every week. Hello?
Press the bad button?
Nope. Didn't hit any buttons. Are you there?
Come out wherever you are.
There you go. Hello. I don't know how we lost him, but we lost him. Let's hang up and try it again. We'll call him back. So, all right. Let's try this. I don't know why this happens every week. I will tell you it gets old, but I don't know why it happens. So, it's one of those mysteries, technology mysteries. How about that?
Hello, this is Tom Wyman. I'm sorry, I'm on
Oh, let's see here. We're trying to do the quiz shows. What our attempt is here on the show this morning or this afternoon. We're going to have to go in a different route. We can't do this. We got to get this corrected, and I don't know what happened. It just kind of dropped out. So, Maybe we can get the Apester to sit there on the landline and call. That would be the logical thing to have to do, make this work. Let her do it. Let's see here. 2 ringy-dingies. Low. Do-do-do. 3 ringy-dingies. He must have been eating a fluffernutter. 4 ringy-dingies. Well, I don't know why.
Hello, this is Tom.
Well, I don't know. We've lost contact with him somehow, some way. Don't know, but we shall move on. We'll try and catch up with him and see what's going on. I don't know what happened, but I do want to stick this in right now. I've been wanting to play this since Monday, and now we get a chance to do it. Here she is, singing our national anthem, our buddy Taylor Geese Sanders from Kingsport, now in Nashville, Tennessee, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Coming up, the old ball coach done something really classy. We'll tell you about that and his South Carolina football team coming up next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. But first, here's Taylor Geese Sanders representing the greatest country in the world. Here's your national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Pretty dadgum good if I may say so myself. How about that? Young lady again, Taylor Geese Sanders, originally from Kingsport, now lives in Nashville, and of course the national anthem representing the greatest country in the world, your national anthem. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday afternoon. And we've lost contact with Wyman. I've tried calling him back and can't get him, so I guess it's lunchtime. I suppose, I don't know, he'll call back, I guess, or we'll do it tomorrow, whatever. South Carolina football players, nice job, nice touch by Steve Spurrier. Football players will wear stickers on their helmets this season to honor the 9 people who died in the shooting in Charleston back in June. Coach Steve Spurrier said the team will have a decal with a palmetto tree with 9 doves around it for the 9 African-American victims of the church on June the 17th. And so Spurrier said the players felt it was appropriate to honor those killed in the tragedy. So it'll be on our helmets this year in honored memory of those folks. So nice touch. Hit the bell. Hit it a couple of times. A very, very nice touch. Again, South Carolina football players wearing stickers on their helmets this season to honor the 9 folks who were tragically and senselessly, is that the right word, senselessly shot in Charleston back in June. Spurrier said the team will have a decal with a palmetto tree with 9 doves around it for the 9 African Americans who were shot at the church on June the 17th. Very, very nice touch. And, again, kudos to Steve Spurrier and the folks. That's very classy to do that, no question. As Dave Angie told you, tonight at East Tennessee State, there is a pep rally on campus tonight at 8 o'clock, parking lot 19. Coach Torbush will be there. We're going to be talking, by the way, coming up to our buddy Michael White's going to join us at 1 o'clock, the top of the hour, to talk about ETSU football. But, again, a pep rally tonight, a bonfire pep rally, and a Bucky reveal. Now, the new Bucky mascot will be introduced along with Coach Torbush, players, cheerleaders. That's what it keeps doing. I couldn't figure what was doing it. Popping my peas. Turn sideways. ETSU football players, cheerleaders. See there? That's an old radio trick right there. Turn it sideways and you don't pop your peas. Do it this way. Turn that way. Well, still doing not as bad. So, whoops. Anyway, coming up tonight, 8 o'clock. Parking lot 19 located off Jack Vest Drive between the Baszler Center for Physical Activity and the physical plant on the west end of campus. A pep rally for the first game in 12 years for the new football program. 8 o'clock tonight in parking lot 19 at East Tennessee State University. What else is going on at the Tom Taylor Sports Show? NASCAR truck news. Eric Jones winning the race over the weekend in Canada to take the series points lead. He, again, wins the race and held off two-time defending series champ Matt Crafton to take the win. Raced to his second series victory of the year and his fifth in 32 starts. Also won at Iowa in June and has two Xfinity Series victories as well. So this kid's up and coming for Joe Gibbs Racing. Eric Jones was driving for Kyle Busch and wins the race again on Sunday in Canada for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And so good run there for Eric Jones to win that race. What else happening in sports? We have for you coming up NFL preseason football tomorrow night. Final night of preseason, and we roll out the regular season. Finally, it's going to matter. And so tomorrow night, everybody plays to get that last game in. Everybody cut down their rosters yesterday down to 75 team number for each NFL team by 4 o'clock yesterday. And so now you get ready for the final game tomorrow night. Here's who's playing where. The real team, the only team that really matters, it's up there on the wall, of course, as you can see right there. The Raiders will be in Seattle tomorrow night to battle the Seahawks. Good story about them in a minute, too. Russell Wilson did something kind of interesting with his football team at Seattle. I'll tell you about that. It'll be a good segue to the story. We'll do that coming up here in just a second. Anyway, we've got Oakland at Seattle. We've got the Chargers in San Francisco, Arizona, Denver, Kansas City tomorrow night in St. Louis to battle the Rams and the bragging rights of Missouri. Houston at Dallas in the Battle of Texas. Cleveland at Chicago tomorrow night. You've got Minnesota, the undefeated Vikings in Nashville to battle the Tennessee Titans tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff. Giants at New England. Buffalo at Detroit. Carolina at Pittsburgh. Washington, the Redskins. Man, what a dysfunctional franchise. They are hosting Jacksonville tomorrow night. Tampa Bay at Miami. Philadelphia at New York against the Jets. Colts are at home against the Bengals. Baltimore will be in the Georgia Dome to battle Atlanta. And the Packers at Lambeau to take on the Saints at a 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. And again, the only team that matters, the Raiders, will be in Seattle tomorrow night to battle the Seahawks. And that brings up this next story, which I thought was pretty cool. And it goes like this. Let's see which one I've got. It is, well, where is it here? It's talking about Russell taking the boys to Hawaii. Is this it right here? And it is. Here we go. Good story. Interesting story. As you know, the Seahawks had a tough end to their 2014 season. Russell Wilson throwing an interception in their hopes of back-to-back Super Bowl titles. Pretty obvious tensions could linger into the offseason, and he's right, whoever wrote this story. Actually, it's Greg Bishop from Sports Illustrated wrote the story. Anyway, Russell Wilson loads guys up from his team and flies them to Hawaii. Yep, so the Seahawks could shake off the demons on what was described as a come-to-Jesus trip. Wilson tells his teammates after a lengthy ride up a mountain into a Maui jungle, he says, I brought you guys out here away from everybody. I want to have a heart-to-heart. After the ride, a number of different Seahawks spoke to teammates, essentially an airing of grievances about their football team, where members of the Seahawks could uncork their feelings and talk about the back-breaking way they lost to New England back in February. Seahawks wideout Doug Baldwin says, quote, it wasn't even really about football. It was more about our responsibility as teammates to each other. And what are you going to fight for and how are you going to fight for it? So Anyway, Russell Wilson charters a private plane, puts 30 Seahawks on there, both offense and defense, plus their families, and flies them to Hawaii for a, quote, come to Jesus meeting and kind of airing out of their football team. Interesting. Pretty classy. It's like, okay, I did it. I let us all down, so on and so forth, but, we got to get back up and go here. What are we going to do? Interesting, to say the least. Russell Wilson did that recently, again, loading up 30 of his teammates and their families, and chartered a private plane and flew them to Hawaii for a couple of days to kind of get the yayas out about their football team. We mentioned Spurrier a few minutes ago, Coach Spurrier. South Carolina, Coach Steve Spurrier, never afraid to ruffle some feathers, and so he did it again. Took a little shot at the defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes and their schedule for 2015. Spurrier talked about South Carolina's difficult schedule for 2015. Just couldn't help but mention the disparity in schedules for some teams, even in the Southeastern Conference, that don't have difficult out-of-conference opponents. Spurrier says, quote, every now and then when I listen, I know the SEC fans are a little upset at Ohio State's schedule, and rightfully so, to tell you the truth. That's just the way it is and how it works out for all of us. I remember several years ago, Texas A&M had 4 gimme games outside the conference, then 8 conference games. There's 4 of us that have in-state rivalry games from another conference. We've got a pretty tough schedule. Referencing the 4 SEC schools, South Carolina plays Clemson, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, and Louisville that have a yearly in-state rivalry game with difficult opponents from an out-of-conference team. Compared to other teams like Texas A&M, which no longer plays Texas each year for really dumb reasons. So Ohio State's schedule this year is certainly one of the easiest among the top 25 teams in the country. Ohio State's Big Ten schedule gives them Penn State and Michigan State at home. The game in Michigan is their biggest road test in conference play. The Buckeyes avoid Wisconsin, Nebraska, and Iowa this year. So, of course, they open up at Virginia Tech on Monday night. Look at something here. Here on the old Tom Taylor Sports Show, we just happen to have the schedules. Let's see who South Carolina plays this year, see how tough their schedule is, and it goes as follows. Open up against tomorrow night North Carolina on ESPN in Charlotte. Next week, conference opener Kentucky. Then they go to Georgia. Then they have Central Florida at home. Then in October, South Carolina goes to Missouri, LSU at home, Vanderbilt at home. Then they go to Texas A&M. In November, they go or come to Knoxville to battle the Volunteers. Then they host Florida, Citadel, Clemson. Pretty tough schedule, if I may say so myself. That's pretty tough. They have road games at Georgia, at Missouri, at Texas A&M, and at Tennessee. Home games, Kentucky, LSU, Vanderbilt, Florida, and Clemson. Now, Ohio State. Of course, Virginia Tech on Monday night in Blacksburg. Then they host Hawaii. Ooh. What was their record last year, by the way? What was Hawaii's record? They were 4-9, okay. Northern Illinois, they have them in next. Are they even, no, they're not even, no, there they are. They're 11-3, okay, not bad. Western Michigan. See what the Broncos were last year. Western Michigan, they were 8-5. All right, maybe I'm wrong here. At Indiana, I know that's a cream puff. Let's see, Indiana, typically not a good football program. They're 4-8 from a year ago. Then they've got Maryland. Let's see, Maryland is 7-6. So anyway, Ohio State, we'll see. Not so much. Let's go to the phone. Good afternoon. You're on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Who's this?
It's Tommy Weinman.
Where are you? What happened to you? I called you and called you and called you. Are you?
The world. Everything just went dead in my world, and now it's back alive again, and I'm driving again.
Are you okay? Did you have a wreck or anything?
No, not as far as I know.
All right. Well, you just
I
kind
mean, I'm a wreck, period. But other than that, as far as I know, everything's good.
Well, then I called.
Hang on a second. Let me check and make sure I got 2 legs and 2 arms still. Yeah, I'm still good.
All right. Well, I played the music, so I called the office, and nobody was answering. So I thought, maybe there's something going on. But you're okay. That's good. That's the bottom line.
I'm fine. It's lunchtime. They're not going to answer the phone between 12 and 1.
Oh, Apster's eating lunch right now?
No, she's getting ready for her first webinar.
She's having a webinar.
A webinar. Her and Vanita are gonna do a webinar together. So she's getting ready for this baby.
Really?
So, you know, all focus is on the webinar right now. Can't, we got the blinders on.
I got you. Now, they're going to participate or they're going to do the webinar?
They are going to listen to the webinar.
Oh, they're going to listen.
So evidently, they're going to, they are participating in listening to it.
Gotcha. So they're not facilitating it, they're listening to it. All right. So
no, they're listening to the thing.
All right. Now, let's do the quiz show while we got you, and then if we don't lose you, we'll talk some sports, all right?
Gotcha. We can do that.
All right, here we go. Let's do question number one. These are Elvis questions. We've already played the music. We're playing, trying to go 5 for 5 with the Elvis trivia question we do each week, and so here we go. Let's do question number one. Come on, Tommy. Here we go.
Question number one, true or false? Bossa Nova was based on the Italian folk song O Sole Mio. O Sole Mio.
Bossa, is that an Elvis question? Elvis trivia? I didn't.
Yeah, he sang Bossa Nova evidently.
Apparently so. I've never heard that. All right, repeat. I'm kind of stunned. Repeat the question, please.
I'm stunned too. Don't worry. Bossa Nova was based on the Italian folk song O Sole Mio.
That would be false. Hello?
Are you there still?
I'm still here. I said that.
Oh, man, did we lose you again?
We lost you again, yes.
Oh, this hurt.
All right, so he's gone, so I don't know. They've got some issues on the cell phone out there on the path today. So anyway, let's see. Let's put that over here. We were talking about, we'll just park that to tomorrow, I guess, because we need to get him on the landline. So anyway, Steve Spurrier arguing about the softness of the Ohio State schedule. Western Michigan, Indiana. We talked to Maryland or talking about Maryland when the phone rang. Maryland last year was 7-6. All right, Penn State a year ago is on their schedule, and the Nittany Lions. Let's see, where were they in 2000? They were 7-6 last year. So Rutgers, really? Rutgers on the schedule, and let's see, Rutgers last year was an 8-5 team. Okay, well maybe I'm going to be wrong here. Minnesota, we have to backtrack here, and Minnesota was 8-5 last year. Okay. At Illinois, I know they were terrible, and they were 6-7. That's not terrible, but then he finished up Michigan State and Michigan. So, okay, I'm going to back up. I don't think it's that bad as far as their schedule. I mean, they got teams who got some winning records a year ago. Are they world beaters? No, but again, okay, I can live with their schedule. I don't think it's as bad as it's not as soft as everybody thinks it is or says it is. So, anyway. South Carolina Spurrier's argument was SEC schedule. Of course, I agree wholeheartedly. Week in and week out, there's not a tougher schedule in the country. I mean, look at Tennessee's schedule. Oklahoma, Florida, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Not to me, Hawaii's on that schedule, if you know what I mean. Let's look at Vanderbilt, another SEC team. Georgia, at Ole Miss, at South Carolina, Missouri, at Florida, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and at Tennessee. You can go up and down the SEC. There's none of them with an easy schedule. I don't care what anybody says. Alabama's got a cream puff schedule this year. Let's look. They opened up with Wisconsin, 11-3 last year. That's not exactly a cream puffer. Middle Tennessee State, pretty good. I don't think they're going to beat them. Let's see. Middle Tennessee was 6-6 last year. Ole Miss, Louisiana Monroe. Then you get on a run going to Georgia, hosting Arkansas for homecoming. That could be dangerous. At Texas A&M, Alabama then hosts Tennessee, LSU. They go to Mississippi State and wrap up at Auburn in the Iron Bowl. Pretty strong, folks. And they say that's a patsy schedule. I disagree. I disagree with Florida. I mean, the argument is, and will continue to be, everybody says that the SEC is an overrated conference. I've heard that, and I'm saying, how in the world can you say they're overrated? It's the toughest conference in America. No, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. I mean, all right, let's pick another one. Georgia, all right? Florida. Florida's SEC schedule. At Kentucky, Tennessee at home, Ole Miss at home, at Missouri, at LSU, Georgia at home, Vanderbilt for homecoming, at South Carolina, and Florida State, which is not SEC, but that's their big in-conference rival, in-state rival, rather. And that's the whole argument for this story by Spurrier, that they and Florida and Georgia and who's the last one? Kentucky all have tough out-of-conference in-state rivalries, and they do. Kentucky will play Louisville last game of the season in Lexington. So it's It's not easy. I don't care what anybody says. And the argument, let's go now to, all right, let's pick one. Let's pick Michigan State. Or let's pick Michigan. Michigan goes to Utah tomorrow night, back home to Oregon State, UNLV, Brigham Young, at Maryland, Northwestern, Michigan State, at Minnesota, Rutgers, at Indiana, at Penn State, and Ohio State. That's a pretty good schedule, pretty tough. There's a couple of cream puffs in there, but there's going to be cream puffs on every schedule. Michigan State 11-2 a year ago, opening up Friday night at Western Michigan. Then they have Oregon. Then they go to Air Force. Then they have Central Michigan. Then they have Purdue. Really? Then they have Purdue's playing Marshall on Sunday. They'll get beat in Huntington. Go Herd. Herd hosting Purdue on Sunday in Marshall or in Huntington. Go Herd. We are Marshall. Love it. At Rutgers. At Michigan as Michigan State this year. Indiana. At Nebraska. New coach. See how that goes in the land of the Huskers. Maryland at Ohio State and Penn State. So I guess, depending on what school you're at, you can argue about this all day long. Bottom line is you line them up and go. And anyway, the point of this whole topic was Spurrier tweaking the Ohio State folks, saying their schedule one of the easiest among the top 25 in the country. And the fact that the 4 SEC schools, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, and Kentucky, have a yearly in-state rivalry game with difficult opponents from out of conference. So I would agree with that very much. But I also would have to back up and say Ohio State's schedule's it's not that easy. There's a couple of cream puffs, but they all have cream puffs. They're supposed to for money games with these smaller schools. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll check in with my man Michael White from East Tennessee State talking Buck football. They don't have an easy one tomorrow night. They have the Owls. Who is East Tennessee State? That's terrible. That is just bad, but get yourself a bell. Thank you. Kennesaw State coming in tomorrow night, and we'll talk to Michael White about that. There is a pep rally on campus tonight at East Tennessee State University beginning at 8 o'clock. They are selling standing room-only tickets for tomorrow night's game. Again, that'll be happening at Kermit Tipton Stadium, Steve Spurrier Field. The coaches' shows are up and running, ready to go. If you want to watch the Sean Witten Coaches Show, it's out right now. YouTube, just go to YouTube and type in Sean Witten Coaches Show. New show out every Wednesday that we host. It's there. Also, the Stacey Carter Show from Science Hill. It's there. Just go to YouTube and type in Stacey Carter Coaches Show. It's there. Also, the Graham Clark Coaches Show. Same thing. Go to YouTube and type in Graham Clark Coaches Show. All three shows are there and ready to go for your viewing. They stay up there video and audio on demand. They'll stay up there infinitely, and that means a long time. And we'll have a new show for you every Wednesday at noon for all three coaches. We love going out and shooting these shows. Again, with Coach Whitten and Elizabeth and Coach Carter at Science Hill, and, of course, Coach Clark in Kingsport. Friday night, we'll go on air at 7 o'clock with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. We'll be ready to go from Bradley Central Bear Stadium. Never been there before. Looking for a fun ride down with the team, and we're going to settle into the old bus seat, and we're going to have a big time down there Friday night, bringing you the broadcast back on AudioCast on the Internet. Simply keep it right here. TomLivestream.com, and then type in Tom Taylor Productions, and we'll have for you coming up Friday night Science Hill and the Bradley Central Bears. Their outstanding quarterback Copeland. Last year, a 59-47 shootout. Science Hill wins it in overtime in Johnson City in the playoffs. And so this year it's a conference game now, conference opener in the Big East. And so we'll go on air the broadcast again at 7 o'clock on Friday night. There'll be no show here on Friday. We'll be traveling with the team, obviously, so we can't. There's no way. I was there looking last night thinking, get off the show at 2 o'clock and drive from here to Cleveland through Knoxville traffic on Friday with Boomsday weekend and Tennessee football, though they're out of town. But all that going on Labor Day weekend, not a chance. So we're going to jump on the bus and go with the team. And so we'll bring it to you at 7 o'clock Friday night again from Bear Stadium at Bradley Central High School. Looking forward to bringing it to you again. That would be the Science Hill Hilltoppers, 5th in the state, and the Bradley Central Bears in the conference opener. How about it from our good friend Tim Copenhagen and the gang at Champion Chevrolet, one of our great sponsors here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7, and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here are the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance. We follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here, with the ratio goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Miller Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again on this Wednesday, it's Hump Day. 2 ringy dingies. Let's see if we can get our man Michael White on here from Sports Information Director Department at East Tennessee State. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm not available right now, but if you will.
All right, he's not available. We'll try and get him back here in a few minutes. We'll watch, see if he'll give us a call back. I know it's busy. He's trying to get this quiz, or not this quiz show, the pep rally going for tonight, and so he's in and around that. But he said give him a call. We'd get him on the air, and so we'll call him back here in a few minutes and see if we can do that. The circus continues around the National Football League. You know, the media day, they've changed this, came out today. The media day is now going to be a prime-time event. Now, in the past, fans have been able to purchase tickets for Media Day the last few years, but with the Super Bowl number 50 coming up this year on the CBS, heading to San Francisco for the game, the time change and fans' appetite for everything NFL, they're going to give the pomp and circumstance that every other event receives. What does that mean? Of course, we're talking about they're going to make it a prime-time event, again, for the National Football League. Media Day has been broadcast for the past few years. Usually it's kind of tough for fans to watch because the timing involved. So now they're going to make it a prime timer. And they'll get the full experience of getting to watch a lot of veteran sports reporters and everything else going on. So it's going to be happening in prime time. They've not announced the time yet, but it is going to be in the evening where you can sit back, pop popcorn, and watch Media Day and watch the reporters ask all the goofy questions. And so they're going to do that in February and let folks know when it's going to be. In the past, they've had it at 9 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, they're going to have this prime time, as we said, the media day for the Super Bowl number 50 coming up next year, of course. It's a Tom Taylor Sports Show. We were talking about college football. Let's run down for you who's playing where, involving top 25 teams coming up this week. More specifically tomorrow night when things get going. And we'll wait to hear from our buddy Michael White from East Tennessee State. Tomorrow night, number 16, Georgia Tech takes on Alcorn State. Number 2, TCU at Minnesota tomorrow night. Arizona, the 22nd-ranked Arizona football team, takes on UTSA. All that's tomorrow night. On Friday, top 25 teams, number 4, Baylor plays at SMU. Michigan State plays at Western Michigan and Kalamazoo at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Number 5, Michigan State. Number 23, Boise State takes on Washington at 10:15 on Friday. So that's the top 25 on Thursday and Friday. Then on Saturday, obviously, a bunch taking on some good games and some cream puffs. Two good ones, though, I'd have to say. Saturday night, number 3, Alabama takes on number 20, Wisconsin in Arlington, Texas. That ought to be a dandy. As we said earlier in the show, Saban came out and said, I've had the talent at Alabama to win 8 national titles, and I'm not done that. He said, I've got 4, or not just in Alabama. I've got 4 titles, but in my coaching career, I should have had 8, and that's my fault. That's interesting. I find that, again, just very, very interesting that he would come out and say that, and he was very pointed about his comments about what he has not gotten done as a head football coach. So, in fact, I'm going to read that again, and let's see here. Let's go back and see if I can't get this to pop back up. We'll do that here in just a second. Alabama and number 20, Wisconsin in Arlington, Texas on Saturday. The Chick-fil-A kickoff game in Atlanta on Saturday afternoon. Number 6, Auburn and Louisville. That should be a good one. Number 7, Oregon takes on Eastern Washington. Number 8, Southern Cal battles Arkansas State. 9th-ranked Georgia takes on Louisiana Monroe at noon. 10th-ranked Florida State takes on Texas State. Number 11, Notre Dame battles Texas. Number 12, Clemson will take on the Wofford Terriers. And let's see. He said he's there. Come off the phone, and he's ready to go. And so we're going to do it right now. Let's check in Michael White. Anyway, we'll stop at Clemson and Wofford. We'll continue with the top 25 coming up here in a moment. So we'll see if we can get him on the phone.
I'm not available right now, but if you will, please leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Well, he just told me to call him, and he's not there. So, all right, we'll move on. Let's see. So we're having some phone issues today, apparently. All right, let's go to Clemson and Wofford. 12th-ranked Tigers and Wofford at 12:30 on Saturday. 13th-ranked UCLA and Virginia. 14th-ranked LSU and McNeese State. Also in top 25 college football, number 15, Arizona State takes on Texas A&M and Houston on Saturday evening. Number 17, Ole Miss, the Rebels battle UT Martin. 18th-ranked Arkansas takes on UTEP. 19th-ranked Oklahoma, the Boomer Sooners battle the Akron Zips. Number 21, Stanford will play Northwestern. Number 24, Missouri will battle Southeast Missouri. And, of course, number 25, the Tennessee Volunteers against Bowling Green. 4 o'clock kickoff from Nissan Field in Nashville, home of the Titans, on Saturday. And, of course, number 1, Ohio State in Blacksburg to battle the Hokies at 8 o'clock on Monday night. So there's some pretty good ones. Could be some good ones in there. I guess the ones that jump out at me would be halfway decent games to watch would be Alabama, Wisconsin. That should be a dandy. Auburn and Louisville should be pretty good. Let's see. Rest of these, Notre Dame, Texas should be a pretty good one. Notre Dame should win it, I would think, but Texas may give them a little run for the money. UCLA and Virginia, maybe. Let's see. Ole Miss and UT Martin, nope. Oklahoma and Akron, nope. Of course, on Sunday, the game, we are Marshall. Purdue and Marshall from Huntington playing it at Marshall. The Boilermakers rolling into Huntington to battle them Hicks from West Virginia, and go Herd. So, anyway, that's what's coming up in college football this weekend. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Appreciate you being with us here again on this Wednesday as we work our way through this Hump Day broadcast, our 132nd show. One of our folks, let's see, and he told me to, let's see if I can reach it. There we go. Our thought for the day from our buddy Larry Kaiser, Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. You know, this is a good book, too. It's called Leadership 101 by John Maxwell. Here is his thought for the day. He says, you cannot push anyone up the ladder unless he's willing to climb a little. You cannot push anyone up a ladder unless he is willing or she's willing to climb a little. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. If they don't want to be successful, you can't make them successful. You cannot push anyone up a ladder unless he is willing to climb a little. That's the thought for the day from our buddy Larry Kaiser. And the analysis of this is no one can succeed for you. Success is not a gift to be given away. We try and jumpstart somebody just to help them make it beyond where they might have gone alone. Well, some respond and some don't. Others, despite being optimistic around them, unable or unwilling to climb a step up the ladder. So you can't make them do it, I guess is the point of this. You cannot push anyone up the ladder unless he or she is willing to climb a little on their own. That's the thought for the day from our buddy Larry Kaiser. From Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance, 282-1389 is the number to call. 282-1389. Appreciate him very much being with us as one of our great sponsors here again on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And again, we call him the Big Easy. He's got I don't know which degree of belt he's got in karate, but I don't want to mess with him. Big old boy, about 6'9", and he can thump you. And he's a good fella. He's calm and quiet and meek till you get him rattled like anybody else. But he's a great guy and been selling insurance around here for well over 20 years. Nationwide agent, no less. Home insurance, got it. With my homeowners, got it with Larry Kaiser, and very pleased with what he does for me. Nationwide is on your side at 282-1389. If it works for me, it can work for you. And give Larry a call. Let him quote you some homeowners insurance, again, from Nationwide Insurance, again, in Johnson City with Larry. And, again, Larry with the thought for the day. And we appreciate him with that so very, very much each and every day. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's, again, bring you up to date. The Braves are playing the Miami Marlins. That one going on as we speak, and it's 2-0 in Miami in the bottom of the third. Cincinnati, Chicago ready to get with it in about an hour. And also later on this afternoon, the Angels in Oakland, the Yankees in Boston and Fenway in a 4:05 first pitch. Everything else is tonight under the lights. So, again, that's what's going on in Major League Baseball. And I want to get back to this story right here. I think this is very interesting. I want to read it verbatim from Nick Saban. And so, Nick, at Media Days, Saban told an amusing story about a kindly older woman who ran into him at a marina this summer and said, maybe we'll win this year. Saban told the story to illustrate his exasperation with fans for whom even his 84 wins in 8 seasons hasn't been quite enough. Pretty good average, folks. Where is it? 84 wins divided by 8 seasons? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm going to make sure I'm right. 84 divided by 8. 10 wins a season all day long, so that's pretty strong. Not surprisingly, Saban doesn't mean Saban's above keeping score against his own personal expectations for his team. He revealed this in an interview with ESPN yesterday. Saban says, quote, we have not finished the season the last 2 seasons like I want. People talk about you winning 4 national championships. Well, I feel like I've had enough good enough talent, enough good enough teams to win 8 titles. So I feel like I've failed 4 times. I feel like I personally have failed 4 times. Now, is that being too difficult? I don't know. I just know we had other teams that had the talent. We were not able to do it. So once again, they feel like that he's got the talent to do it again, compete for the national championship. So anyway, Saban, I thought it was very interesting for a man to be that candid, saying, you know, I've had the horses to win 8. I've only won 4. It's on me. I don't know how many coaches would say that. But again, he's got the horses apparently to be the consensus that maybe it could be number 5 for him. So we'll see. Tide has won 3 under Saban, 2009, 2011, and 2012. Of course, he is referring to LSU as well when he discusses his 4 national championships. So got 3 at Bama and 1 at LSU. But anyway, Saban coming out and saying, had the horses for 8, only won 4. It's on me. It's interesting. Let's see what's happening elsewhere on the local sports scene. How did things go yesterday, again, in the high school sports? And let's take a look at that and see how things went as far as sports locally, soccer and volleyball from yesterday. And it goes as follows on this Wednesday. Let's bring you up to speed on it. And we start with volleyball from yesterday. We had Tennessee High defeating Dobbins Bennett, Sullivan East defeating Sullivan North, and high school volleyball. Today, Unicoi County plays at Daniel Boone and Gate City at Sullivan Central on Wednesday for volleyball. Soccer from yesterday, 1 score to report to you. South beat Elizabethton 4-1. In golf, nothing going on today. Tomorrow, the Big 7 conference tournament at Buffalo Valley Golf Course for the Big 7 championship. So you would think Science Hill and Dobinson will be in the hunt for that one to win. And so that's coming up tomorrow. As we told you, baseball, to run down the schedule for you, got Miami and Atlanta, that one in the third, 2-0 Miami. Cincinnati against the Cubbies at Wrigley at 2:20. Tonight under the lights, Philadelphia at New York. Against the Mets, Milwaukee hosting Pittsburgh. Cardinals home to Washington. Arizona at Colorado. San Francisco against the Dodgers in L.A. And San Diego on the left coast hosting the Texas Rangers. In the American League, a couple of afternoon games. Angels in Oakland, a 3:35 first pitch. Yankees at Boston at Fenway at 4:05 this afternoon. Tonight under the lights, Tampa Bay at Baltimore. Cleveland at Toronto. Minnesota hosting Chicago. Detroit at Kansas City. Houston home to Seattle. And the San Diego Padres, as we said, will be hosting the Texas Rangers at a 10:10 first pitch from San Diego. So there you go. Again, football tomorrow night. College football, Maryville at East Tennessee State. That's incorrect. It's not Maryville. It's Kennesaw State at ETSU. Oh, that's coming up next week. I'm sorry. They were right. I read the wrong one. That's next week. Tomorrow night, it's Kennesaw State. Will be, again, at Kermit Tipton Stadium. The pep rallies tonight at 8 o'clock, and you can get tickets, standing room only tickets for tomorrow night's ball game, standing room only tickets for tomorrow night's ball game at that pep rally tonight on parking lot 19 at East Tennessee State University. And let's see if I can find it for you. And that will be coming up again. East Tennessee State students, faculty, and staff and members of the community invited to celebrate the return of football during a bonfire, pep rally, and Bucky reveal today. Be at 8 o'clock tonight, as we said. And Coach Torbush will be there speaking and introducing the ETSU's new Bucky mascot. Football players, cheerleaders, and the marching band will also be there. Parking lot 19, be a big crowd. Get there early. Located off Jack Best Drive between the Baszler Center for Physical Activity and the physical plant on the west end of campus at East Tennessee State University. So I'll be going on, as we said, tonight at 7 o'clock. So get out there and support the Buccaneers, and they're getting ready to play football tomorrow night at Kermit Tipton Stadium, again against Kennesaw State tomorrow night. Quick break. We'll be right back. Again, it's the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Wednesday. We thank you for being with us, and we'll come back with more sports talk about as we work our way through this Wednesday hump day right after you hear this on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
Trucks, and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Wednesday afternoon.
Hello?
There he is, our buddy Michael White. Third time's a charm. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Doing well, Tom. Sorry about that.
Oh, I was thinking my age, I'm thinking I'm not hitting the right buttons. I'm not seeing things good, but hey, we got you, and that's the most important part. And Michael, to say there's a buzz in Johnson City and in this region for this football team, this football game is an understatement. I've never seen anything like it, and it's just very, very exciting. And it kind of starts tonight with this pep rally. Tell us about it.
Yeah, pep rally today, this evening on campus. We'll get underway at 8 o'clock, but we'll actually be selling the remainder of our 500 standing room only tickets. Those will be sold and also distributed to students beginning at 7. So anyone out there that was hoping to try to grab a ticket, they should arrive over here on campus pretty early to get in line. For the general public, those standing room tickets will be $5. For students with a valid ID, they are free. We certainly expect once we get that done that we're looking at a crowd of north of 8,000 people will be at Kermit Tipton Stadium tomorrow evening to watch this historic moment for ETSU athletics and ETSU football.
Kennesaw State coming to town. What is a scouting report on this football team? We've heard all about the fact we're playing them, but what do they bring to the table as far as Kennesaw State?
Well, a couple of things to keep in mind about Kennesaw. For one, they are not doing as we are. We will be an independent this year. They are actually going right into Big South Conference play. So I think from a standpoint of just the way they have recruited a little differently than we have. I think Coach Torbush, we have gone with more high school graduates, gentlemen who are just coming out of school. So we have a lot of freshmen and redshirt freshmen, whereas Kennesaw will have a few more transfers. They'll have more juniors and seniors on their roster, people who are players who have come in from other programs, mainly because they need to be ready to compete for a conference championship this season. Or at least be able to compete in conference play in the Big South. As far as the style of play, I know Coach Torbush has talked about this a lot. He knows Coach Brian Bohannon, that's the head coach at Kennesaw State. He's known him for a long time. He is a gentleman who coached under Paul Johnson at Navy and also at Georgia Tech and Georgia Southern. And people that are familiar with those programs understand that they play a very similar style of offense, which is the triple option offense, which is very lethal, and it can be very hard to play, especially at any level, but especially at the college level. So when fans get there tomorrow night, they're going to see a very similar offense to what they'd see with Georgia Tech, with Kennesaw State. So one thing we do have to keep an eye on is their quarterback. Their quarterback's a transfer from the Citadel. So he also has a couple of years under his belt playing in that triple option offense. So he definitely could be a player that we need to make sure we take care of tomorrow night.
Talking to Michael White, the sports information director at East Tennessee State University, and again, the buzz about this football game. I would think it'll be a very moving night tomorrow night. It's 12 years in the making, and a lot of folks behind the scenes, a lot of sweat equity, a lot of meetings, a lot of this, a lot of that to get it to this point. And I guess you start saying thanks to a lot of people who are going to leave somebody out, but it's been a total team effort here in East Tennessee State University and the region to get it back to this point, right?
It definitely has, Tom, and I think obviously for various constituency groups, you have you have the former players who went through having to lose the program and are now getting it back. It'll obviously be emotional for them. It's emotional for the current players who are going to be part of something special, and they've chosen to come here because of this moment to be able to be part of the first team. It'll be emotional for all of us, coaching staff, administrators, everyone in ETSU athletics. As you said, there's been a lot of work, a lot of man hours, just days upon days of meetings to prepare for this evening, and then for our fans, for the fans of ETSU athletics and the Buccaneers who have been waiting for this moment too. I think that's the reason that there's such an excitement. There's been such a great demand and response amongst just regular fans, the community, the students, the alumni, is that there is a desire to feel that pride, to be a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think that's starting to happen for ETSU football and for our athletic program. And I think there's just a lot of excitement about everything we're doing over here, but in particular about football. And tomorrow night, there definitely will be a tear or two shed. And I don't think that's hyperbole. I think that's not over-exaggerating. That's just the honest answer. There'll be a lot of people who will be very emotional once 7:30 rolls around.
You got it. Now, parking, of course, it'll be at a premium with over 8,000 folks there. Are there shuttles? Is there any way we can get in there, or we just have to get there early and fight for a parking spot?
There has been a lot of parking permit sales. We've done a lot of that around the building, around the stadium, in the parking lots that people may be familiar with at Kermit-Tipton. So if you don't have a permit for those lots, you are going to need to get there early so that you can access parking basically on the north side of Liberty Bell Middle School. There's also people might be familiar at Science Hill High School of the tiered parking that is there in front of Science Hill High School. We have been able to secure that parking so that people will be able to buy parking in that lot. But yes, definitely get there early. There will be obviously people in the neighborhood selling parking. This is really going to become like what you would expect if you went to Tennessee or Virginia Tech. People are going to tailgate early. We want to encourage people to tailgate. We want them to have the same experiences they would have if they went to Knoxville or Blacksburg. And when you go to those places and you're looking for parking, there's multiple options, and I think that's what's going to happen tomorrow night. People will be able to find parking, but definitely get there early. We are encouraging people to get there early, tailgate, because there will be a lot of traffic. For the students on campus that may not have a car, we are offering shuttles. That shuttle schedule is available at etsubucks.com. If you click on the football link, we actually have a section of the website called ETSU Game Day Central, and that area answers frequently asked questions. Also provides shuttle service schedules, parking maps, and various other information fans could use and utilize going into that game day.
Donna Michael White, the Sports Information Director at East Tennessee State University, again tomorrow night, the big ball game. So going forward, we don't have tickets for tomorrow night. How do we get tickets for the rest of the home schedule?
The ticket office at ETS, if you call 439-ETSU, that's 439-3878, they will be glad to work with you on that. You can also order tickets online at etsubucks.com. We are encouraging people to go there and to get tickets for the remainder of the season because the demand is still there. In fact, homecoming against Emory and Henry, which is the third home game of the year, is already sold out. So the game against Marable next Thursday night, there's still some remaining tickets for that game. Not many. Fans that want to come to the game need to get those tickets now. And then the last three games of the season, those tickets are also going quickly. So we are really hoping that fans that want to come, that they'll call and get those tickets ordered now.
I would think on a personal standpoint, Michael White's pretty jazzed up to be the SID for a football game coming back after 12 years hiatus. A lot of folks thought this would never happen. So I would think for you personally, you're pretty jazzed up about this, are you not?
Well, I'll tell you, Tom, for a lot of reasons. Having been born and raised here in the area, growing up in Elizabethton, some of my vivid early childhood memories are coming to sporting events here at East Tennessee State with my dad and my mother and my brother and my grandma. And my dad was one of those guys when the fight song was played, you stood up and you knew the words to the fight song. And we would come to homecoming and we would put together the placards. And we would do all the things that fans of any team would do. And those are those memories that you have with your family that are special. And for me to have then come to work here and to have worked about a year and a half before we dropped the program, and then to have had to go through that experience of having lost the program for a while, it was difficult. And for us to be here long enough to see its return is very special. I wrote a column in the Game Time magazine that people may see out at Food City and Road Runner Markets right now. I kind of wrote the intro column to that, and I talked about how this was about a reconciliation. In many ways, it's like a big family reunion for all of us to come back together. And I hope people will get that feeling, even if you don't have the history that someone like me, that you grew up with it and you were around it, that you'll begin to build those. That people that have moved into this area and are looking for a college football experience, that they'll come and experience that this week and in the future as we build this program, because I think that's the future of our program. It's the future of our community and the future of East Tennessee State is to build a strong athletic program that as Dr. Nolan likes to say a lot, our president, that it's the front porch. It's the welcoming place for so many people in our areas, our athletic program. And I think that as we move forward, I'm hoping people will get that emotional connection. I like to tell people when I speak a lot in the area about the difference between being a Buccaneer fan and a Volunteer fan. I always say you can be both. You can be a fan of Tennessee. You can be a fan of ETSU or Virginia Tech. They're not mutually exclusive. I like to say that you might bleed orange and white, but your heart can be blue and gold. And that's what I hope that ultimately we're able to build with this new football program.
Great report, my friend. That's very good. I love how you said that. That's a great, great way to look at it. And I wish you the very best tomorrow night covering that game. We'll talk to you next week, and good luck up there tomorrow night. And I know it's going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to seeing what you put out as the SID. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
We'll do it, Tom. Thank you very much. Go Bucks.
Yes, sir. Go Bucks. Good man right there. Does a great job. Michael White, the Sports Information Director at East Tennessee State University, and getting ready for the ball game tomorrow night. Tickets on sale tonight at that pep rally at 8 o'clock. They're going to be on sale. 500 tickets for standing room only. That's it. Over 8,000 will be there tomorrow night at Kermit Tipton Stadium, Steve Spurrier Field, and that's going to be as they say, going to be a big house tomorrow night. Kennesaw State coming to town against the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. First football game in 12 years for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. Of course, back in the day, we did the play-by-play for ETSU, and we had a stint with actually two stints with one with Buddy Sasser way back in the day, and then we had Buddy Sasser 1 year, and I did Mike Ayers 1 year when they went 0-10-1. Actually, Ayers 2 years, and they turned around and went 6-5. So, been around the Buccaneer program way back in the day, and this is exciting. I remember back in those days when you had 2,000, 2,500, maybe 3,000 fans at the ETSU football games. You would think you had a big crowd. So tomorrow night, over 8,000 and still climbing as far as attendance for the ball game tomorrow night at Kermit Tipton Stadium and Steve Spurrier Field in Johnson City. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us. Got about 30 minutes left in the show here on this Wednesday. Of course, we podcast it. You can go back and watch it and listen to it tonight on YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, all that coming up later this evening. And, of course, we'll have that put up usually 4 or 5 o'clock, and you can enjoy it. Also, the coaches' shows are out. That is on YouTube. We have the Stacey Carter Coaches Show. It's up every Wednesday at noon. It's out there now. Stacey Carter Coaches Show, also the Graham Clark Coaches Show, and the Sean Whitten Coaches Show from Elizabeth, and all 3 standalone shows. How do you find them? Just go type in YouTube, and there they are. Type in the individual coach you want to watch, and all of them about 20, 25 minutes, and it's good stuff, and they're excellent guys to sit down with, and they know football. They love their kids, and they love their schools, and it shows when you watch it and hear it. And, of course, they're on video and audio on demand, so they stay up infinitely, and so they'll be up there for, however long we need to leave it up there, but so you can go back and watch it as often as you want. Again, just go to YouTube and type in the coaches show of your choice, and there they are. They're a new show out every Wednesday at noon. Of course, today would be Wednesday, and we're past noon, so the shows are up and ready for your viewing. What is going on this weekend in Darlington? The track nicknamed the Lady in Black, the track Too Tough to Tame, egg shape. Didn't know this. This is cool. Did you know why it's shaped like an egg, the track? I never knew this. Unusual egg shape came from the original owner's refusal to relocate a minnow pond for a bunch of minnows in her to go fishing. So I'm not moving it. We're going to leave it just like it is. So the egg shape is for that reason. The track received a $10 million upgrade back about 9 years ago, and so they've moved it thanks to NASCAR. It's the first, here's a little bit of trivia, I didn't know this, the first paved speedway to host NASCAR races. Darlington, the Southern 500 this weekend. The first paved speedway to host NASCAR races has a narrow groove that positions cars close to the wall, leaving many with that infamous Darlington stripe on the right side. Banking 23 to 25 degree turns, and so it's a very, very tough track. The track Too Tough to Tame, or the Lady in Black, they call it, in Darlington. Last year, after setting a track record while winning the pole, Kevin Harvick went on to record his second win of the season last year, completing a career NASCAR Grand Slam, the Daytona 500, the Coca-Cola 600, and the Brickyard, along with Darlington. He passed Junior in overtime to win it, by the way. See, I disagree with the Grand Slam of NASCAR. Where's the Urban Tools night race? Where's the night race at Bristol? We got into this yesterday. Joey Logano's folks at Penske Racing in the post-race press conference said, every year we circle this race, the night race at Bristol. That's one of the ones we want to have a trophy on our mantle back at the shop. So they can talk about the Daytona and the Coca-Cola and the Brickyard. That's all fine and good. But you talk to most of those drivers up there 2 weeks ago, and they say, we would want a trophy from the night race at Bristol. Dale Earnhardt, back in the day, I don't know if it still is or not, back in the day when in his office, back obviously when he was with us, a lot of the trophies at home, but one of the trophies in his office on display was a trophy from Bristol. So anyway, Darlington will be this weekend. We already know it's the best track in NASCAR, no question. Darlington will be hosting the race this weekend. Again, it'll be the Bojangles Southern 500. It'll be coming up again on Sunday night. That'll be televised on NBC, but it'll be Sprint Cup Bojangles Southern 500. And the box score, let's see, the best drivers, last 10 Cup races in Darlington, your best drivers have been Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart, and, of course, the winner was Kevin Harvick. Last year he led 238 laps from the pole and won it, won $334,000. So, again, he'll be ready to defend his crown this weekend for the Southern 500 at Darlington coming up on Sunday night. Tom Taylor Sports Show, thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday. It is Hump Day. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We will. We promise we will. We have more to talk about, and we'll do that. But first, got to, as we say, pay a few bills, and that's the name of the game, and we'll do that right after you hear this, again, on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call, and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one-and-done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one-and-done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, our guest today has been Sean Witten, the head football coach at Elizabeth, and Dave Angie, a sports writer for the Johnson City Press, our good buddy Dave, and just now Michael White, of course, from the Johnson City Press, Angie, and Michael White from East Tennessee State University. You can tell your friends, tell your neighbors about the show. We love it. We're in here again 3 hours every day from 11 to 2. Talking sports, and again, we'll be up on iTunes, TuneIn Radio. We'll podcast it tonight. iTunes, TuneIn Radio, the Stitcher phone app, and also we'll have it on YouTube for you. You can watch it tonight here again. A little bit later on, but you can go back. A lot of folks do that. They can't watch or see the show in its entirety during the day because of work or whatever, and so they go back and sit down at night and listen and watch or both. So we appreciate that. We got a couple of stories happening, breaking with the Tennessee Volunteers football team. One of those, Sevier County High School senior Dorian Banks, decommitting from Tennessee. Said, no, on second thought, I'm not going to do it. as he refocuses his goals on becoming academically eligible. This we'll have to give props from the Knoxville News Sentinel out of this, or on this. So anyway, Sevier County Dorian Banks decommitting from Tennessee as he refocuses his goals on becoming academically eligible. So schoolwork's not where it needs to be. 5'9", 162 Banks, rated a 3-star prospect, considered the number 51 athlete in the 2016 class, the number 20 overall player in Tennessee. Volunteers now have 15 commitments for 2016. Second member of the UT recruiting class. In February of 2014, when he announced his commitment as a sophomore, Banks returned to Sevier County this season after playing at Gallatin as a junior, becoming eligible this week, or the week leading into the regular season. So Banks also played with the Smoky Bears as a sophomore and Ezell Harding as a freshman. So he's bounced around a little bit. Also, Knoxville police arresting Tennessee defensive end Andrew Butcher. Officers found him allegedly intoxicated as he ran around Interstate 40 about 2 o'clock in the morning. Butcher arrested Sunday, charged with public intoxication, underage possession of alcohol, and violating controlled access roadways. Out on the interstate running around. That's dangerous. Records state an officer responding to a complaint of someone exhibiting drunken behavior on I-40 found Butcher running around on 40 East near James White Parkway. Butcher told the arresting officer he'd been drinking some brewskis, too many apparently, scheduled to appear September the 10th in Sessions Court for arraignment. Butcher enrolled at Tennessee in the spring but had off-season knee surgery, has not practiced this preseason. 4-star recruit was named an Under Armour All-American at Alpharetta, Georgia High School. Again, Athletic Department spokesman Ryan Robinson says, "We are aware of the situation. It will be handled internally." So Andrew Butcher arrested again Monday morning on Interstate 40 around 2 in the morning, 18 years old. And again told the arresting officer he'd been drinking some brewskis, which he had been, too many obviously, and he was arrested. So we'll see how that shakes out with Coach Butch Jones. I can't imagine it'll shake out very good. So, anyway, they'll get ready for football down there in Knoxville on Saturday. Let's run down the schedule for you. Got two I want to talk about before we wrap this thing up today. And the schedule, first off, in high school football, tomorrow night we've got 4 games on tap. On a Thursday, Claiborne plays at Chucky Doak. Pigeon Forge will host Northview Academy. Unicoi County travels to West Green tomorrow night. And Cumberland Gap will travel to Gatlinburg-Pittman. That's all on on Thursday. All on Thursday. Friday night, our broadcast, Science Hill, Bradley Central, 7 o'clock airtime with the Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen pregame show. You'll be able to listen to it on audio cast, streaming it live on the internet. Go to livestream.com, like you see behind us here on the sign, on the banner, and type in Tom Taylor Productions, and there it'll be. Popped up, there'll be a sign you can click on it, says Science Hill at Bradley Central, boom, and it'll be. You can listen to it live wherever you are. It'll be really cool. Dobbinsville plays in William Blunt, Bearden, and Hardin Valley, and Maryville hosting Jeff County in 6A. 5A on Friday night. Morristown West will be in Jonesboro to battle Crockett. Tennessee High travels to Morristown East. Sevier County home to Cocke County. In 4A on Friday night, Sullivan South hosting Seymour. Granger will be at Sullivan East. Sullivan Central, the Cougars home to Cherokee, and Greenville plays at Volunteer. In 3A Friday night, Johnson County at Elizabethton. In 2A, Cosby at Hampton. Sullivan North goes to Happy Valley, and South Green at North Green in Region 1 2A football. In 1A, it is Oakdale hosting Cloudland, and Unaka travels to Concord Christian, a non-region ball game. Tri-Cities Christian's football team plays at Hancock County. That's your high school football for this week around the region. Let's take a look at Tennessee football. September the 5th, Bowling Green. That's this coming Saturday, as you know. Again, you have on the following Saturday, the home opener, the Oklahoma Sooners come to town. September the 19th, Tennessee hosts Western Carolina. September the 26th at Florida. October, you have, 4 games in October. On the 3rd, Arkansas. On the 10th, Georgia. On the 24th, you have 17th as an open date. On the 17th, middle of the month, is an open week for Tennessee. 24th, you go to Alabama, and on Halloween, you travel to Kentucky. In November, 4 games on tap. South Carolina on November the 7th, North Texas on November the 14th. They'll travel to Missouri on November the 21st and wrap things up November the 28th against the Commodores in Knoxville. So Dave Angie says 8-4, 7-5, barring any injuries, mainly to Dobbs, that they're going to have a pretty good season. Virginia Tech, let's see where the Hokies play. They open up again, of course, on Monday night in Blacksburg against the number one ranked team, the defending national champion, the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Then they host Furman on September the 19th. Virginia Tech goes to Purdue on September 26th. The Hokies travel to East Carolina. In the month of October, they've got 5 games on tap. Pittsburgh on the 3rd at home. NC State at home on the 9th. They go to Miami on the 17th, and they come back and host Duke on the 24th. And on Halloween, Virginia Tech goes to Boston College on Chestnut Hill to battle BC on Halloween, October the 31st. In November, 3 on tap. November the 12th at Georgia Tech. November the 21st hosting North Carolina. And, of course, November the 28th, the season finale against their cross-state rival, the Cavaliers, the Wahoos of UVA. So that's your Virginia Tech schedule for 2015. And out of fairness, let's go ahead and run down the Buccaneer schedule, too. Kennesaw State tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff. Again in Johnson City at Kermit-Tipton Stadium. Next week, Maryville College. You heard Michael White say tickets are at a premium for that one. First road game on the 17th. They go to Charleston, South Carolina to battle Charleston Southern. Come back home for homecoming. Sell out. Emory and Henry on the 26th. All sold out on that one. October the 3rd, St. Francis, home. October the 17th, they go to Mercer. October the 24th, they travel to Montana State. Halloween, they're back home to take on Warner at 1 o'clock at Kermit-Tipton Stadium. Then in November, East Tennessee State goes to Robert Morris on November the 7th, to Gardner Webb on November the 14th, and come back home for the season finale against Kentucky Wesleyan on November the 21st. So that's the schedule for the Buccaneers of Coach Carl Torbush. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday. Baseball update. See what we got here in the Major League Baseball scores. And let's see. It's Atlanta and Miami playing as we speak. At top of the 5th inning, it's tied at 3. The Braves are down 3-0 and rally to tie it up 3-3 in the 5th. Reds and the Cubbies will start at 2:20 in Chicago. The Angels in Oakland at 3:35. The Red Sox and the Yankees at 4:05 first pitch from Fenway. And then tonight, everything else under the lights in Major League Baseball. And so that's what's happening again for you. And let's see. We got another story breaking here. Let's see what's going on with this one. A woman sues Oregon State. Woman blames Oregon State and Mike Riley, then the head football coach, for failing to address a sexually violent culture in the football program she says contributed to her sexual assault in 1999. Okay. What is that, 6 years ago? And it's coming out now. The woman seeking $7.5 million in damages claims that her visit to the school's student health services following the rape, she believes her attacker to be the cousin of Calvin Carlisle, one of the Oregon State football players charged in alleged gang rape in 1998. And Oregon State generally refutes the woman's claims. Mike Riley, now the head coach of Nebraska, offered no comment on the matter. And so this, again, goes back to 1999, and it's now coming out, 6 years later. And so, again, they're going to take a look at it and see how far they need to take this. So, again, that's going on, coming out of Oregon State. That just broke here this afternoon on a sports story, again, involving Oregon State and Mike. I mean, not involving him per se on a personal note. They're just involving him because he was the coach at the time this alleged attack happened assault back in 1999. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we continue here on this Wednesday. We thank you for being with us. Again, we do this each day from 11 to 2. We talk every kind of sport that we need to talk about and get it covered. We've talked about, wrestling today, college football, pro football. We've talked Tennessee football. Obviously, we've talked East Tennessee State football. We've talked Elizabethton football. Tomorrow, Graham Clark joins us from Dobbinsville, along with Stacy Carter from Science Hill. Talk about their games this week. Also, Dave Angie joined us about that new ruling with the TSSAA that's going to change the landscape of high school football starting 2017 and 18 here in Tennessee. And Dave was right on. Great comments about the changes and the rulings made yesterday, as we talked about earlier in the show, in Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee, to get that thing turned around and changed, making it more of a level playing field. And so Be some of the schools probably to the tune of 15 or 16 will have the option to drop down to Division II, which again will take 15 or 16 out of the equation, and they'll have to do some reclassification, which they're already planning to do 2017, 2018. High school volleyball, Sullivan East beat Sullivan North. East Michaela Chafin had 26 kills. Kelsey Smith added 36. This coming, quoting the Johnson City Press. Also, Providence defeated Asheville School in volleyball 3-1. Providence's Eve Little had 11 kills. Becca Lane totaled 10. And Emma Herod added 7 kills. Allie Chambers added 25 digs for Providence. They're now 9-2 on the season. Again, Sullivan East in volleyball beat Sullivan North 3-2. That, of course, compliments and courtesy of the Johnson City Press. In golf, at Tri-Cities Golf Course, we had a three-way golf match, University High, Sullivan East, and South Green, and it was won by University High. Again, that was on the boys' side. On the girls' side, it was Sullivan East, also in that same, and University High, a two-team match, and that was won by Sullivan East in girls' golf from yesterday. As we told you, you have the Appalachian League playoffs, Pulaski and Princeton. They play. Pulaski and Princeton will play tomorrow night. Kingsport travels to Greenville to battle the Astros. So the top two teams play, and so those two, when they come out of the best of three, will play each other for the outright championship. Regular season ended last night with the Appalachian League. Pulaski at Princeton tomorrow night at 7 o'clock coming out of the East. Out of the West or Tri-Cities division, you have Kingsport at Greenville on Thursday, Greenville at Kingsport on Friday night, and then if need be in the best of three, it'll be Greenville and Kingsport at Hunter Wright Stadium on Saturday. So those top two teams out of the West play and the top two out of the East play, and then once they clear the air on those best of threes, they'll play each other for the outright Appalachian League championship. We mentioned college football. I guess the game you would circle if you're a proud card-carrying member of the Marshall University Thundering Herd. The Herd will take on Purdue at 3 o'clock on Sunday in Huntington. So we are Marshall. Here it is. Here's the mouse pad. Let's see if I can get this up for the camera for you to see this. Hope I can. Can you see it? Let's see. How about that right there? That's pretty good. We are Marshall. There you go, the Thundering Herd. Our alma mater. Oh, here's one here, too. Here's another mouse pad. Let's see if you want to take a look at this one. A little tougher to see. I don't do good at this. Like I said yesterday, I wouldn't be a good weatherman where they got to point to. I'm pointing to Montana and telling you it's snowing in Mississippi. I wouldn't be good at that. So, anyway, can you see it right there? It's a little Thundering Herd, the buffalo. Let's see if I get it closer to the camera. It'd probably help, but see, it's dark. So, anyway, there is a mouse pad, Marshall mouse pad. The other one you can see pretty easily. We are Marshall, and so they play hosting the Purdue Boilermakers on Sunday at 3 o'clock in Huntington, West Virginia. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We do this every day, 11 to 2. Hope you'll come back and join us tomorrow. Full 3 hours. Again, tonight will be podcast on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and also Stitcher phone app, as well as on YouTube. We're in day number 130, 132, 133, the 132nd show. We started back in February. Show's growing. We appreciate that. More and more folks are letting us know they're liking the show and watching the show, and we appreciate that very much. Milligan Sports is bringing up to speed there. The volleyball team got in the win column over Tennessee Wesleyan last night at the Steve Lacey Fieldhouse. Milligan improved to 4-1 and 1-0 in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Reigning ACC Setter of the Week, Jessica Davenport, led Milligan with 29 assists, so congratulations to the Lady Buff volleyball team. They're now, again, 4-1 in the conference, winning over Tennessee Wesleyan 3-0, 25-19, 25-22, and 25-21 for Milligan's volleyball team. And so they're now 4-1 overall and 1-0 in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. Again, as we told you earlier, if you missed it, Sunbelt Conference officials saying Coastal Carolina has accepted an invitation to join that league, and in doing so will move its football program up to D1 by 2018. Coastal, which is in Conway, South Carolina, will join the Sunbelt in all sports except football beginning next season, and then they'll come back in 2017, and they'll compete in the Sunbelt, and they'll be there football in 2017. We'll take our final break, come right back, and begin to wrap this thing up again on this Wednesday afternoon. We look forward to being back out here again tomorrow and doing the same thing for you. And again, we'll do that right after you hear this from our good friends from Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Trucks, 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 and more trucks. At Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, we have Silverado trucks everywhere with discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on select Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. 15 Spark, $10,995. 15 Sonic, $12,995. 15 Track, $17,995. 15 Equinox, $20,995. Shop us online 24/7 and don't forget our Saturday service hours. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where they leave you asking, how do they do that?
Getting ready for football coming up tomorrow night. East Tennessee State and the Kennesaw State football team coming to town. Don't forget tonight, before we get out of here, the pep rally tonight going on at East Tennessee State. 8 o'clock in the parking lot number 19. Coach Carl Torbush will be there. And Coach Torbush will be in the house. Also, you'll have the new Bucky mascot will be there. Also, the football players, cheerleaders, and the marching band tonight. 8 o'clock, get there early. It's going to be packed. Parking lot, popping those peas again. Packed. It's going to be packed again tonight at 8 o'clock. Again, the Bonfire Pep Rally and Bucky Reveal. And so parking lot 19, by the way, located on the west part of campus, located off Jack Best Drive between the Baszler Center for Physical Activity and the physical plant on the west end of campus tonight at 8 o'clock. Just look for the crowd. It'll be huge, and get there early because, again, it'll be at a premium coming up tonight as far as parking and just space. There'll be a lot of folks there, no question about that. What else is going on? We talked about this yesterday, but if you're interested in playing pickleball, yeah, pickleball. It is a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong, which sounds pretty good. Combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. That's pretty good stuff. Again, that would be, pickleball that you can call the YWCA in Bristol. And it's a fall pickleball league starting next week. Cost is $20 per player. Pickleball is a combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. And again, it is, it's up to you as far as your talent level, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, no, I did not forget you, Gator. I called and you had, I could not get a hold of you. So I'm going to call you right now, as a matter of fact. I want to get him on the air before we get out of here. Of course, the beauty of this show is we can go as long as we need to go to get everything done, although we typically leave at the top of the hour. We're going to dial his cell phone right now. Let's see. I didn't know it. Thought he had computer troubles. I know he was listening. So here we go. We'll get him on here. Here's one ringy-dingy. 2 ringy-dingies. That'll be 3 ringy-dingies. That'll be 4 ringy-dingies. Hello? Well, all right, we'll try this other one. See if I can get him this way. We'll get him on. We want to talk about his 3rd anniversary.
Cherokee Barbershop.
There he is, my man, the Gator Man.
Can you hear me?
I'm loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you dialing me and it wasn't ringing.
It was, well, I don't know.
I was texting you. I said, you got the right number, but I guess you do.
Yes, I do. Hey, congratulations. Let's talk about it. Your 3rd anniversary at the same location. Tell me about Cherokee Barbershop.
I'm 3 years old. 3 years ago yesterday, I took over Cherokee Barbershop, and I've loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. You had a bunch of youngins in there yesterday. You were cutting people's hair. Young people yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's the future of the business.
There you go. That's the name of the
Hey,
game.
I got a question about that pickleball.
Go ahead.
Is it kosher?
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's good stuff. Pickleball. Have you ever played it? Combination of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. You ever played that?
I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun.
Sound like fun, yeah. It's up at the YWCA in Bristol. All right, let's talk about it again. Tell us, here's your chance to crow about the Cherokee Barbershop. Tell me about it.
Well, I think it's the best place in the world. You come in, we got coffee. I've got a Golden Tee golf game. There's sports memorabilia all over the wall. ETSU and Milligan. You get an old-fashioned haircut, old-fashioned shave, straight razor, hot towels, massage, back massage. It's awesome.
It's all good again. So those young people in here yesterday, and here's what I thought. What I like. You were cutting hair, and you said you like it, and they said, "Nah, take a little bit more off." Okay, so you went back and clipped it again, and Mama said, "Do you like it?" Yeah. So you aim to please, and so you'll do whatever it takes to get their hair the way they like it. These little guys, right, and the older ones too.
I'll do it anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
just
want you to get what you pay for.
There you go. Now, this gentleman, of course, wears a tie, which I think is pretty cool. Has got some good music on from time to time. Always has a TV show going on the TV, and got some snacks and some drinks. And now you always tell them to go down and reach underneath the counter. A lot of them don't want to do that, do they, in the cabinet?
No, it takes one or two times before they realize that there's something good underneath the sink.
Oh.
What's exciting is when they come in and do it without even me telling them.
They just know, right? Just kinda,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Now, what separates you, do you think, again, from the other barbershops in the region? What separates you?
The personal touch.
I think you're right.
Customer service.
You were, and I was noticing yesterday sitting there listening you go back and forth with the folks you know about them playing football, and you know one of them's dating some little girl you knew, and so you're not just a name or a number. You actually find out about a little bit about them, don't you?
Yeah, I might not know their names, but I can tell you stories that we've talked about.
There you go.
I'm fortunate enough to remember that. So. But, hey, to change the subject,
okay.
I want to tell you about our Dylan Miles, the local guy from Science Hill and the National Football Foundation.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He is one of 3,300 students across the country that's up for a scholarship, a local boy. And actually the 17th of this month, the chapter will be 1 year old.
Awesome.
So we're the first year to have a guy in the national running. He's one of the final 8 finalists for our region. That's the Southeast, so that's pretty good.
That's really good.
So, and it's for $18,000 scholarship.
Whoa, that'd be nice.
Very nice.
Dylan Miles now playing football at West Virginia Wesleyan in West Virginia, former Science Hill Hilltopper. So he, again, is down, what is he, one of the finalists, is that correct?
Yes, it started off with 3,300 students, and it's down to 960 now.
Wow. He's still in the running.
Still in the running.
That's awesome. Well, Gator, the reason I called, and that's good, we can talk about him again when we find out more about him. I just want to call and wish you a happy anniversary and congratulations on 3 years, and it doesn't seem like it, does it?
No, it just seems like yesterday.
Yeah, and so he does a great job. Give me the hours you're open at Cherokee Barbershop.
Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, Saturday, 8:30 to 1.
And I will say this, in his defense, I was there yesterday, he said, take that Raiders golf ball that I offered, and I didn't do it, did I? No.
You didn't do it?
No, I don't.
I won't offer again, though.
No, that's exactly right. I get one shot, and I didn't take it, so it looks better up here on your shelf. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you for letting us promote you every day. And
well, I appreciate your show.
Yep, and we'll talk to you real soon, all right?
All righty, have a good one.
Happy. You want me to sing to you? Happy anniversary.
No, I've heard you do the accent.
All right. I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you.
All right, then. Thanks, Tom.
Yep, great job. See, and that was on a landline. It was perfecto. So sometimes these cell phones act a little goofy, but we'll get that worked out tomorrow with Tommy Wyman with the quiz show. Hey, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We got to get rolling here. We want to say thanks to our sponsors, Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen. That's that accent I apparently don't do very well. Also, Chick-fil-A, Champion Chevrolet. Also, thanks to our sponsors, Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. We want to say thanks to those folks, obviously. And also want to say thanks to Bays Mountain Park, Max Medicine Mart, Cherokee Barbershop, Book Lovers Warehouse, Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, Kingsport Cabinetry, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, American Import and Auto Repair, and also by Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, for our guest today, Sean Whitten from Elizabethton High School, Dave Angie, the sports writer from the Johnson City Press, and Michael White from East Tennessee State University, and the Gator Man there from Cherokee Barbershop. I'm your host, Tom Taylor, and again, hit it right here. Hit that drum beat. Boom, hit it. And we'll tell you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, we rejoin you again. Win or lose, be a good sport. Don't forget, coaches' shows are out there right now on YouTube. The Sean Whitten Coaches Show. Just go to YouTube, type in Sean Whitten Coaches Show, or the Graham Clark Coaches Show, or the Stacy Carter Coaches Show. 3 new shows out every Wednesday at noon. They're out there for you to watch. Again, video and audio on demand over and over again. So check it out again and let me know what you think. Send me a text on Tom Taylor Sports Show. Tell me what you think of the Facebook me on Tom Taylor Sports Show, and let me know what you think of the coaches' shows. We are gone. See you tomorrow. Thanks as always. And again, we'll always tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So long, everybody.